on, everybody? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we're going live for the first time on the channel. I just wanted to get up here and just chop it up with you guys and talk a little basketball. There's a whole bunch of news and rumors surrounding the New York Knicks. A Utah radio station today said that a Donovan Mitchell trade is done. He said that, and we'll pull the quotes up in a second, but he said that he has sources that have been texting him during the day while he was on the radio show and said that a deal is done involving Donovan Mitchell. And it's kind of wild because no one really refuted the report. This was the tweet. Let me pull it up. I'm here producing by myself, so not going to be as quick on the graphics today. But this is the tweet from Jake Hatch. He's the producer of the radio show. His name is Patrick Cannon, said on the Zone Sportsnet, which I've now found out on Twitter is the #1 morning drive radio show out there. And he said, he is hearing from a source close to Danny Ainge that the Utah Jazz have agreed upon a deal to trade Donovan Mitchell, but that deal is not done yet. It's really weird. A whole bunch of smoke is going on, but that's why we're here. We put a video out earlier today breaking all of this down because, as you know, when news or rumors break surrounding the New York Knicks, we get you guys a video as soon as possible. But I want to start today's show like this. Where are my real ones at? Let's hit a real one roll call. If you're a friend of the program and you watch the show pretty often, I want you to drop a real one in the comments right now, and I'll start giving shout outs to everyone that drops a real one. It's something that we've started on the show because when I go back home and after the day's over, I like to go through the comments and I respond to a lot of people. I like looking at the comments. I think it's really cool what you guys have to say. But I like to know the people that finish every single video. And there's a whole bunch of people that do. We got a whole bunch of real ones coming out right now. Tony, Kevin, Greg, Rick, Ash, Nando, John, Will, Camaro. The chat is moving fast. Let's ride. Wayne, William, Richie, I can't even read. I'm not that good at it. I see Brett Scott's in the chat. What up, Brett? 343 people watching. Hit that like button if you haven't so far. And we got our first super chat on the show. Let's ride. Sam, are you still here? Nah, we're the only ones in the office. That's what we do here. We grind for you guys here by myself. But we got a whole bunch of real ones coming in. I'm going to start putting some of your guys' comments up on screen. Let's ride. Here we go. New York Knicks. It's a great time to be a fan of the New York Knicks. I mean, have we ever had this exciting of an offseason since Carmelo Anthony was here? I mean, it damn sure wasn't last year when we signed Evan Fournier, Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks. You still here? Get the fireball. Let's ride. We're taking shots for super chats. We got a super chat rolling in for my guy, Brian Ortiz. He's a real one. He said, let's go, Knicks. Every super chat gets up on screen. It goes a long way to show the bosses here on Chat Sports that you guys like and support what we have going on. So that's what we're going to do. Every single super chat gets up on screen. We're also going to take some shots. I mean, the only liquor we have in the office right now is Fireball. So that's what we're working with. Don't judge me. Judge the people that bought the Fireball. But Brian Ortiz, let's ride. I appreciate you, brother. You're a real one. We also got Ramon is a real one. He's coming in from Honduras. We got the Fireball. We're going to party. I don't know how long we're going to do this. We'll do it until the cows come home. How about that? Until people no longer want to hear me talk about the New York Knicks. I'm going to pop. If you guys have a question on the show, let me get that going. Brian, this one's for you. Let's ride. Oh, man, the Fireball. It just honestly never gets better. That's really all we drink here at Chat Sports, but as long as I've been drinking, it just doesn't really get any better. Let me get a question for you guys, though. This is something that we've asked on the show a couple of times, but I want to ask it right now. If you could only keep one of these guys in a trade for Donovan Mitchell, who would it be? I think you're going to have to give up two of these guys. Ideally, you'd like to give up none, but in a trade, two sides have to agree. You got to give to get, and I think you're going to have to give up two of Obi Toppin, Quickly, and Quentin Grimes. So I want you guys right now to let me know, which one of these guys would you keep? If you had to, you're on the phone, you're Leon Rose, and you're on the phone with Danny Ainge, and you're like, yo, I am not trading one of these guys. Let me know who you're rocking with We got a whole bunch of ones coming in the comments section. I see some Obies. I see some 6 for Quentin Grimes. I see some 5s for Emmanuel Quickly. We got another super chat rolling in from my guy. 2 more super chats. One from Broken Chip. We'll get both those up on the screen. But keep letting me know, which one of these guys would you keep in a trade? For me, it's Obi Toppin. I think Toppin fits best next to a guy like Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson, because Obi is a guy that can be successful when he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. He executes at a very high percentage. He's going to push the pace in the fast break. He's going to continue to get better as the roller in a pick and roll situation. I love Obi. I don't want to say he has the highest ceiling of these guys. I think Quentin Grimes is probably the most championship-ready piece. And what I mean by that is his style of play translates the best to any team. A 3-and-D guy, every championship team needs one of those guys. We got a whole lot of super chats coming in. We'll roll through those right now. But I think you guys are like me. I saw a whole bunch of ones in the comments. I think Obi Toppin out of these 3 guys is the one that you gotta keep. Let's roll. Rich Robinson. He says, every effing vid, Geechee Gotti voice, shots for Big MG. Rich, you're a real one. I've been seeing you in the comment section of pretty much every video that we've been putting out here on New York Knicks Now. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, man. It really has. And that's a credit to every one of you guys watching. We can't do what we do here at Chat Sports without the audience interaction that you guys provide. It's been awesome. We've been growing like crazy. We've gained almost 4,000 subs in the past 28 days. And I'll tell you this, we're just getting started. We're going to continue to do videos every single day. Rich, I'll pour up a shot for you in a second. Look, if the supers keep rolling in, I might have to be a phony and can't say that I take a shot for every super, because at the end of the day, I still do got to drive home. Broken Chip 710 Jeremy, another real one, always in the comment section. And he also subscribes to our Giants channel here, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. If you're a Giants fan, go subscribe over there. But of course, let's effing go. Real one, 3 to the dome. Let's ride, Broken Chip. I appreciate it, brother. Michael Parker says, I want Mitchell, but I'm not willing to be fleeced by Ainge. No more than 5 picks, and half should be protected. Keep Quick and Toppin. So yeah, I want Mitchell, but I'm not willing to be. I agree. Look, I don't think Leon Rose is the type of guy that's going to go into a negotiation, no matter if it's Danny Ainge or whoever is on the other side of the phone, and going to leave the negotiation after being fleeced. He's too smart of a businessman, and he's already turned down a couple trade offers, as we know. First, the Utah Jazz, they wanted RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and 3 first-round picks. We declined that. Then they wanted Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, all 3 of our kids, and 6 future first-round picks. Leon Rose declined that. I then heard that he submitted a really competitive counteroffer, and I think that's where we're sitting right now. The latest reports say the Knicks want to keep Grimes, and the Jazz are also very interested in Grimes. I think that's a little bit of a leverage play. I'd love to keep Obi Toppin, but Michael, I will say this. If you hold on to Emmanuel Quickly, I feel like it really doesn't make that much sense from a roster standpoint going forward. Because you know you're going to have Brunson, you know you're going to have Donovan Mitchell. I hope that Tom Thibodeau or whoever the coach is in the coming years staggers these guys' minutes. And do we really want 3 small guards in Quickly, Donovan Mitchell, and Jalen Brunson all in our backcourt? I'm kind of concerned about that, considering that Brunson and Donovan Mitchell are both 6'1". I would like a bigger guard in the backcourt to come off the bench and provide some defensive versatility. I love Emmanuel Quickly. I don't want that to be mistaken. If you watch this show during the season, I was the leader of the Emmanuel Quickly club. I think he can be a winning piece. I view him as a super 6-man long term. He's just like Lou Will to me. He can get to the bucket. He can finish right hand, left hand, has one of the best floaters in the league. I love IQ. Michael, I'd love to keep Emmanuel Quickly, and I'd love to keep Obi Toppin, but I think you're going to have to give up 2 of those guys. And if I had to bet today, I bet it would be Quentin Grimes and Obi Toppin. Fugazi, what up, bro? He says, I need this trade right now. We all do. Look, it's been a long couple of weeks since the first Woj bomb came out, I don't even know how long ago it was, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it goes back further than that. Remember when Rudy Gobert got traded, and then the Mitchell rumors started to come up, and then Woj was like, the Utah Jazz have no interest in trading him. You know, on this show, we called bullshit on that. We know that the Jazz were all in on rebuilding. Once they got that massive Godfather offer for Rudy Gobert, that was the signal that they were starting to rebuild. Then they traded Donovan Mitchell's best friend, Royce O'Neal. They didn't give the qualifying offer to his childhood best friend, Eric Pascal. So we knew the Jazz were showing us that they did not want to compete at the time, and Donovan Mitchell was going to be the next domino to fall in a trade. And look, the talks have heated up. Woj, Shams, Brian Windhorst, Mark Stein, and everybody else since then has talked about the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors, and we've been talking about them on the show. Look, that's what we do here, news and rumors. Keith Turner, I see you in the comments. I like this. He says, I don't think IQ is going anywhere. Him and Donovan are real tight. That's true. Donovan Mitchell, Emmanuel Quickley, they've been hanging out all offseason in the Hamptons. They've been going to New York Rangers games. They went to the white party where every celebrity in the world was there. I do think that a reason Mitchell wants to come is because him and Emmanuel Quickley are friends. I could see that going down in a trade where Danny Ainge asks for Emmanuel Quickley. But as we know, Donovan and him are friends, and that might be a selling point for Donovan. Leon may know. Donovan only wants to come if Emmanuel Quickley's there. I'm not saying that's true, but them being friends, like you said, Keith Turner, is a reason. I think a lot of people think Emmanuel Quickley are still here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Quickley does not go in the trade. F. Richard Jefferson, that's what we started today's show with, because look, if you're a Knicks fan, it's in your blood to hate Richard Jefferson. He's the biggest hater out there. I want everyone in the comments right now to type F. Richard Jefferson, F. Richard, F. Rich, whatever you want to do. Screw that guy. Look, he is the biggest Knicks hater in the world, and this all stems from what happened on ESPN yesterday when the baddie Malika Andrews was talking to Dave McMenamin on the set, and they were talking about when the Knicks were the 4th seed in the East in the 2020 and 2021 season, and Dave McMenamin said that Julius Randle was a 6-man. And then it went to Twitter. Knicks Twitter caught fire, started talking shit about McMenamin, even though he's banging Malika. Shout out to him. And they were like, dude, he was not a 6-man. He was the most improved player of the year. He was a second-team All-NBA guy, finished top 10 in MVP, and it went crazy. And then, of course, Richard Jefferson got on Twitter, started to go back and forth with Knicks fans, and he didn't just double down. He tripled down and quadrupled down that Julius Randle was a 6-man, and it's just been crazy. He hates on the Knicks. He doesn't even know what's going down in New York. He doesn't know what's going down at the Mecca. So type F Rich in the comments section. You guys love that on today's show. He's a clown. We'll get that up on screen right now. But Fugazi, I appreciate you, brother. I owe a couple more shots, but just let me space it out a little bit. I think this might go for a little while. Oh man, let's ride. Let me go through this. I'm producing myself here, so give me a second. Here we go, right here. Let's ride. Spam the comments. If you hate Richard Jefferson, type F Rich. That's what it is. He's a hater. I mean, what about when the Knicks were in the Summer League and they were winning by like 8 or 9 points before the second quarter and Richardson came in as a ref and the Knicks lost the game? I don't want to say it's his fault. I don't know what it is, but I think it's a pretty funny coincidence that Richard Jefferson was the ref when the New York Knicks lost. I want to do this right here. We like to do this on a lot of channels here at Chat Sports. Name a random Knick for me. I want to see if you guys can name a random New York Knicks player in the chat right now that I've never heard of. We've done this on a couple shows before on the channel. We're going to bring it back. And I want to hear if you guys have anybody. Jay Boogie's in the chat saying the Nets have acquired Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell for 1 second rounder and a bag of chips per Woj. This guy is fake news. Let's get a whole bunch of fake newses in the comments section. We got Ronaldo Balkman. We got Sly Williams, Chris Dudley, Chris Childs, Kevin Knox, Alexei Shved. That is a name that I have not heard in a while. Jared Wilkins, Cleanthony Early, Doug Christie, Sasha. Vujacic, Derek Harper, Lance Thomas. Man, that was a bad stretch of New York Knicks basketball where we had to watch a guy like Lance Thomas start for the New York Knicks for way too long. Continue to name a random Knicks in the comments. Someone says Nene. We almost forget that Nene once played for the Knicks. Malik Rose, Ron Baker, Kurt Thomas, Quincy Acey. There's been a lot of players that weren't really all that good that played for the Knicks. Jerome James, Chris Copeland. Chat's moving fast. My eyes are pretty bad. Tracy McGrady. The first game where McGrady came over to the Knicks after that trade was electric. He dropped like 24 points. The Knicks won. It was sweet. Shout out to T-Mac. Cole Aldrich, Landry Fields. They're all coming in right now. Tim Thomas, Steve Francis, Jalen Rose, Marcus Camby, Keith Van Hoort, Kadeem Allen, the legend. Shout out to all of you guys for rocking with us. I want to talk about this, though, and I'll ask the question. There's been a lot of talk recently about why or what team has the leverage here in a Donovan Mitchell trade. Is it the Knicks? Is it the Jazz? And I believe the New York Knicks have all of the leverage. You guys can let me know. Type NYK if the Knicks have the leverage. Type Utah if you think the Jazz have the leverage. But I really do think it's the New York Knicks have the leverage in this trade. Because Donovan Mitchell did not request a trade, if we remember. The Knicks were called by Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz following the Rudy Gobert trade. They started to test the market and see what they can get for Donovan Mitchell. Once they traded Rudy Gobert, they started a full-fledged rebuild. And holding on to Donovan Mitchell in a rebuild really doesn't make all that sense because they want to tank. I know a lot of people are going to say he's under contract for the next 3 or 4 years. But put yourself in Donovan Mitchell's shoes. You didn't request a trade. You've been the leading force and the best player on the Utah Jazz for the past 4 years. You were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. You've won 2 playoff series for the Utah Jazz. You made the Utah Jazz relevant once again in the NBA. And now they're trading you. I'm sure they talked to you about it, but you didn't request a trade. And now not only are they fielding trade offers for you, they're calling people and seeing if they're interested in you. And if I'm a star that's done all of that, and I'm Donovan Mitchell, that pisses me off because that shows me you don't value me, you don't think I'm an important piece, and you don't want to build around me. And if the Jazz are tanking, why on earth would they want to hold on to Donovan Mitchell? If Donovan Mitchell's on your roster, you're guaranteed to win 30, 35 games. That takes you out of the top picks of the lottery and the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. We know that the 2023 draft is loaded. And the Jazz's best asset is their own first-round picks. Yes, they have 3 first-round picks next year, but none of those picks are going to be in the lottery. The only one that can be a very, very high and valuable pick is their own. And if Donovan Mitchell's on your team, that pick will be not good. It'll be a bad pick. It'll be somewhere from 14 to 21. But if you trade Donovan Mitchell and you get some kids from the New York Knicks, the Jazz have a potential to be one of the bottom 5 teams in the NBA, and that's where they want to be in a rebuild. You don't want to be in the middle road in the NBA. That's the worst spot to be. They also got a new head coach. Why on earth would you want to bring a disgruntled superstar in Donovan Mitchell that you've been fielding trade offers for and calling people about? Why would you bring him into a camp with a brand new head coach that's never coached in the NBA before? That's a toxic situation, very similar to the Houston Rockets situation with Kevin Silas was there. It was a nasty situation when they were trading a guy like James Harden. It was nasty. It got ugly. And look, final point why I think the Knicks have the leverage. The Knicks have what the Jazz want. What do they want? They want expiring deals. They want young, cheap players, and they want draft picks. Who can offer that and offer that in the most fashionable way? That is the New York Knicks. You could trade them Derrick Rose, $14 million on an expiring deal. You can trade them Cam Reddish, 1 year, $5 million deals. That's $19 million right there. You only got to get to $24 million in a trade to bring back a guy like Donovan Mitchell. You also have young players in Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, and Quentin Grimes. And as we all know, because we all watch the show, the New York Knicks have 8 tradable first-round picks. So I really don't think it's all that close on who has the leverage. Let me know what you guys think. Some people are still typing random Knicks in the comments section. I like that a lot. We got an Xavier McDaniel, Truck Robinson. Let's ride. Another super chat rolled in. We'll pop that up on the screen. As always, every single super chat gets up on screen. Al, AI, our font here is weird, so I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Let me know in the comment section if it's AI or Al, but I appreciate you. Great stuff from my guy. That means another shot of Fireball here. This might be a long night. Might need an Uber ride home at this point. But I'm here to party. I'm here to talk about the latest New York Knicks news and rumors. This show is all today because the report came from a Utah radio station that a Donovan Mitchell trade is done. They said they were still working out the details, but he was the first one to break it. And that's why we're here today talking about this. I want to ask this question, though. Let me do this. If you want the Knicks to trade for Donovan Mitchell, just type 45 in the comment section right now. I want to see a whole bunch of 45s in the comments as I take this shot right here. We got some spammers in the chat. Don't be weird. Don't spam. That's not what's up. Don't do that. We got 45s coming in. I wish I could read that a little bit better, but it's moving so fast I can't. Robos, Nick, J-Fish, Nick, Westbrook, Welch, Big News, Jason, J-Fish, S. Martinez, Sports Talk, Will, Eric, Goat, Rick, James, Big L, Eddie, Keith, Lottie, Rich. A lot of people typing 45s. I think every New York Knicks fan wants Donovan Mitchell. It's just a lot of people think that it's another Carmelo Anthony trade. And I'm going to be honest, and we'll talk about that in a second. This is nowhere near a Donovan Mitchell trade. Yeah, hold on. Let me give me a second here. Gotten some people saying, can we remove Jay Boogie from the chat? Yeah, Jay Boog, you're wilding out, bro. I'm going to put you in timeout here. Just take a chill pill, my guy. I want everyone to shout out their city, though. Let me know where you're watching from. That's one of my favorite things about Chat Sports is we have viewers. The audience is from coast to coast. We're all over the globe. Yeah, a lot of people are pretty upset at Jay Boogie. That's on me. I should have been on top of that. I shouldn't have let a spammer get in the comments. But let me know where you're watching from. I'll give some shout-outs. Let me also, give me a second here. We got Vaughn is from Harlem. Eddie, I can't read that. My eyes are bad. Nerman's rocking from New York. Greg says Jay Boogie got to go. Yeah, he's got to get the F up out of here. Soldier's rocking with us from Australia. That's what up. Us sports fans from New York. Jean is from Brooklyn. Gabriel is from San Antonio. Work from home is rocking with us from the Queens. That's what's up. We got a lot of New Jerseys. Joseph's rocking from New York. Kay is rocking from New Jersey. John, Pittsburgh. Ernest, I think that's Ernest Stevenson rocking from Rochester. Let me just pop some of these up on screen. That'll be easier. I appreciate everybody tuning in today. It's our first live show on the channel. Some people said we couldn't do it, but here we are. We're rocking out for the New York Knicks fans out there. If you're a Knicks fan, you got to be one of the most loyal people in the world. I've been rocking with the Knicks for as long as I can remember. I'm only 27 years old, so I didn't get to see any of the glory days of Patrick Ewing taking us to the final, unfortunately not winning, you know. But the earliest memories I have is that 2000 season and the rivalries versus the Heat. It was incredible. D-Block rocking from Boston. DJ Straight is rocking from Oklahoma. Williams from Brooklyn. Rochester from David. We got a whole bunch of people tuning in. We're getting some Marshies in the chat. You can spam Marshy if you want. That's what the viewers call me. Not really a big fan of it, but you guys rock how you want to rock. A lot of people shouting out their city. A whole bunch of real ones in the chat. That's what makes this show possible. A whole bunch of real ones. I want to talk about this, though. A lot of people say if the Knicks trade for a guy like Donovan Mitchell, they wouldn't be a playoff contender. They wouldn't be a team that wouldn't do anything in the playoffs. They'd be a second-round exit team, blah, 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 a whole bunch of BS. Donovan Mitchell is one of the best playoff performers in the NBA. He's top 10 in NBA history in points per game, with 28 points per game in 39 games played. 4.7 assists, 43% from the field, 37% from deep. Donovan Mitchell is a primetime player. And big-time players play their best in big-time ball games, and he did that. Did he struggle a little bit this season in the first round against the Dallas Mavericks? Sure, but I think that team had already fell apart. Him and Rudy Gobert were not getting along. Quinn Snyder knew no matter what, this was going to be his last season as the Utah Jazz head coach. Donovan Mitchell is a baller. And I want to ask this question. If the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, and let's say they hold on to a guy like Jalen Brunson, obviously, RJ Barrett, and their center is Mitchell Robinson, how many games do the Knicks win with RJ, Jalen, Donovan Mitchell, Mitchell Robinson? Julius Randle, I believe if the Knicks trade for a guy like Donovan Mitchell, he's on his way out. But I want you guys to let me know, how many games do you think the Knicks win? Last year, they won 37 games, remind you, with Evan Fournier and Alec Burks as their starting backcourt. And if you replace them with Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, I truly believe this is a team that could be a top 5, top 6 team in the Eastern Conference. There's too much talent on this team to be a play-in team. I really do believe that. Got some things rolling in. Got some people showing love in the comments. That's what's up. I'm seeing 50 from Trust, 44 from Big L, 42 from CR something. Luis says 42 dubs. Steve Hartley says 46. BTS Dance Studio says 25. Boo that man in the chat. Ahmad says 47. Jay Fish says 90 wins. I'm down for that. Francisco says, I think they are a 50-game winner, maybe a little bit more. Sharice says 45. The GG family says 50. Unique says 42. I think they're a 45-plus win team if you bring in Donovan Mitchell. And I know a lot of people have said that the Knicks should not make this trade. This is another Carmelo Anthony trade. And I understand there's some shell shock behind trading for Carmelo Anthony. The Knicks won that trade. They got the best player and none of the assets they gave up. I know some first-round picks didn't go their way. But this is why a trade for Donovan Mitchell is not the same as a Carmelo Anthony trade. Because you still have your youth core intact. You didn't have that when you traded for a guy like Carmelo Anthony. You traded Raymond Felton. You traded Wilson Chandler. You traded Danilo Gallinari. You traded Timofey Mozgov. But in this situation, you have Jalen Brunson, who's 25 years old. You have Donovan Mitchell, who is 25 years old. Ignore the graphic. The graphic's wrong. But RJ would be 22, and Mitchell Robinson would be 24. That's why trading for Donovan Mitchell is not the same as Carmelo Anthony, because you would still have 4 players on your roster who have not yet entered their prime. And let's say you trade 6 first-round picks in a trade for Donovan Mitchell. You would still have 5 first-round picks over the next 7 seasons. You would still have assets and picks that you could still add to this team going forward. So you have 4 guys who's not 25 yet. You still have 5 first-round picks over the next 7 years. You have a boatload of second-round picks, and the salary for a guy like Jalen Brunson is going to be an underpay in 2 or 3 years as he's on a descending deal. Mitchell Robinson, 4 years, $60 million. He's on a descending contract. And what does that mean? They make the most money in their first year, and then it goes down by 5% every year. So I don't want to hear any of it that this is the Carmelo Anthony trade. I know we're scared because it didn't work out, supposedly, because we didn't win an NBA title. But you were playing through an era where LeBron James was running through the Eastern Conference. Look, if some injuries didn't happen in that Indiana Pacers series, if Amari Stoudemire doesn't get hurt, I think the Knicks win that series, and they're playing the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. When you're a GM, your job is to collect talent. And Donovan Mitchell would come in and be the number 1 player on this team. I love Quentin Grimes. I love Emmanuel Quickley. I love Obi Toppin. But I really do not believe that either one of those guys will ever live up to the bill that Donovan Mitchell is. 25 years old. 3-time All-Star, a primetime player. He's clutch. He's someone that's from the area. He wants to be a New York Knick. And I think we need to take that into account. When people want to be Knicks, we got to bring them here. Because look, a lot of people have turned us down. A lot of people have not wanted to play for the Knicks in NBA free agency. But now Jalen Brunson does. Now Donovan Mitchell does. We need to embrace those guys because we've been burned in free agency many, many times before. And I think those days are long over. We have a super chat coming in. We'll pop that up on screen. Every super chat gets on screen and we'll take some shots. I don't know if I can do every single one. Don't call me soft. But Carlos, what up, man? He sent an emoji, a pear character, stretching his arms. I appreciate you, bro. I think we have a couple more soups in. Kevin, what up, man? He's rocking with us from Jacksonville, Florida. That's what up, sending a super chat. I appreciate everybody that super chats to the show. Goes a long way. Tells my bosses that people here are supporting what we do. You guys are real ones. Everyone tuned in is a real one at this point. Kareem says, I don't believe it until the ink dries. And I think that's what that's the mindset that I think everyone should be rolling with. Because look, although a Utah Jazz guy said on the radio that the Knicks and the Jazz and Donovan Mitchell, the trade is done, take that with a grain of salt. Wait till you get that Woj notification. Wait till you get the notification from Knicks Now on YouTube saying that we're going live because Donovan Mitchell has been traded to the New York Knicks. Because I'll tell you this right now, with everybody tuning in right now, almost 900 people watching, my bosses have no chance but to let us go live when the Knicks trade for a guy like Donovan Mitchell. That's definitely going to happen. I'll tell you that much. And it's going to be a party. You think we're drinking today? Wait till Jeremy Chugs is in the chat with us and we're getting lit. Kareem, I appreciate your super chat. Lewis just sent in a super. That's what up. As a Utah man, I want Spida DM 45 to stay. Why would you not want him to stay? 25 years old. 3-time NBA All-Star. He's been the face of the franchise. He brought the Utah Jazz back to being relevant. If someone name me some players that were on the Jazz that made up those rosters before Donovan Mitchell got there. I think you'd be surprised if you couldn't. Got someone saying F Spike Lee in the chat. That's pretty disrespectful. But I did see him courtside at a Brooklyn Nets game this in the playoffs, and he was rocking some Brooklyn stuff. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. But I still got love for a guy like Spike. Soul Train says SGA from OKC would be a better fit on the Knicks. I don't want to disagree with that, but Donovan Mitchell at this point in his career compared to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the better basketball player, and in my opinion, it's really not all that close because Donovan Mitchell, as the best player on his team, has earned the number 1 seed in a Western Conference that's been loaded. So I don't really want to say that SGA is better, but I get what you're saying with the fit because he's a 6'5", 6'6" guard that can play off the ball. I think he plays a little bit better defense than a guy like Donovan Mitchell. So I understand that, but I do believe the Knicks have. This has not been reported, but I trust the Knicks that they've gone around the league and called a lot of teams, seeing what superstars are available. That's what good franchises do. They don't just see a move and go react. They've been plotting on this for a while. And a lot of people are saying the Knicks shouldn't have signed Jalen Brunson if they're going to go get Donovan Mitchell. The plan all along was to get Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson to play with the New York Knicks. They wanted them to play together. 2 CAA guys, 2 guys that have ties to the city, 2 guys that have ties to New York. Is it the most ideal situation that they're both 6'1", 6'2" guards? But I don't want to say, oh wow, we're getting some Malika Andrews hate in the chat. Not too much on her. She's not a real one because she just doesn't get it up here. We'll work on that though. But not too much hate on Malika. She's if you know, you know. But a lot of people are concerned, and I share some of those concerns as well, about a small... Some dude, your comment got blocked, but damn, that is funny. I don't know if I can push that one through. A lot of people are concerned about a Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell backcourt defensively, and I am too. But I want to say this. I know we don't have a Kawhi Leonard on this team, but Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet won a championship as the starting backcourt. They're both 6 foot. And I don't think either of them are better defensively Kyle Lowry probably is, but he was a little bit older at that point. But Jalen Brunson is not a bad defender. He's undersized. He's not extremely athletic, but he's a guy that's smart. He has been he's one of the guards in the league that have taken the most charges in the NBA the past couple of years. He's a smart defender. He plays smart basketball and a winning brand of basketball. I think that's going to translate. And let's talk about Donovan Mitchell, because him coming out of Utah, he was talked about being an elite defender. 6'2" in shoes, 6'3" in shoes, 6'10" wingspan. An amazing athlete. I truly believe that Tom Thibodeau will be able to tap into a guy like Donovan Mitchell and get the most out of him. Do I think he'll ever be an all-NBA defender? No, but can he be an average to an above-average defender? I fully believe that. Once Tom Thibodeau gets his guys, and Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell and R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and maybe you keep Obi Toppin, that's a team that'll be athletic, they could switch on defense, and that has a lot of defensive upside in my opinion. I know they're not going to ever be an elite team, but Donovan Mitchell has the tools to be a solid defender in the NBA. I think he just needs to be coached up a little bit, and once he gets to the Knicks, I think he's really going to take his game to another level. I want to ask you guys another question, though. Let's get the comment section flowing. What about a trade? I don't know if give me a sec. Yeah. So I saw this trade on Twitter today, and, I thought about it for a while. But I want to hear from you guys. What's your thought on this trade? The Knicks, they received Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gay, and they ship out Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Miles McBride, and 5 future first-round picks. Let me know if you would make this trade. Type in the comments section. Give me a sec. Look, I think at the end of the day, if you really want to make a move for a guy like Donovan Mitchell, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. And look, it would suck to see a guy like Obi Toppin go, but if you got to hold on to Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickley in this deal, I think the Knicks would be winners of this trade. But I'll ask you guys this question. Who wins this trade? Type NYK for the Knicks. Type Utah for the Utah Jazz. Let me know how you're feeling. Who wins this trade? Is it the Knicks? Is it the Jazz? The Jazz get Fournier, Reddish, Toppin, McBride, and 5 future first-round picks. If my guess, this would probably be 3 unprotected first-round picks from the Knicks, and then 2 of those picks we got in the draft day trade where the Knicks traded down from pick number 11. Let me know, though. I'm seeing a lot of NYKs in here, and I think the Knicks win this deal. If you only have to give up one of the kids, and it would suck for it to be Obi Toppin, but you get to hold on to Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, I think the Knicks would ultimately be winners of that trade. Keep letting me know what you think. I'm looking through the comments right now. NYK from Vincent. Justin's typing NYK. ODOG says Utah. Will says New York Knicks. Leo says 100%. AB says no trading Obi. I'm kind of in the same camp as you, but if I could get Donovan Mitchell, it'd be tough to hold on to Obi if he's the deal breaker. I am about truth says the Jazz. The Knicks says New York. Eddie says New York. Caesar says New York. The GG says OB not included. Turkish Chocolate says right now. King Keep says OB. Look, I don't even know if that trade's honestly enough for Utah to bite. I really do believe that you're going to have to include 2 of the 3 in Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, and Quentin Grimes. I think you're going to have to give up 2 of those guys. And in this trade, if you get to keep one of them or 2 of them in this instance, I think that's a big time move by Leon Rose. Do I think it gets done? No. I do want to ask this question, and I kind of already know the answer to it. If the Knicks trade for a guy like Donovan Mitchell, should they trade Julius Randle? Type T for trade, type K for keep. I'm interested what all of you guys have to say about this one. I think I know where we're going with this, but let me know what you think. Type T for trade. Vincent says Marshall, thoughts on Bogdanovich? Look, if I don't necessarily think he would be included in the deal because he is an expiring deal at like 15 to 19 million, if I remember off the top of my head. And those are the type of players that the Utah Jazz want to hold on to. They want to hold on to people that are on expiring deals. The sex bots are in the chat. Wow, this is unfortunate. Type B to block the bots. We can't have the bots in here sex chatting. That's not what's up. I'll hide user on this channel. I think that's the play there. Moses says keep. Flyboy says keep. Type B to block the bots. Type T if you want to trade for Julius Randle, or trade Julius Randle, excuse me. Type K if you think the Knicks should keep him. John says you need mods. Yeah, John, tonight would have been a good idea to have mods, but usually we'll have a producer with me next time, but it's just me in the office and everyone's at home. I've been at work since 9 a.m. this morning, probably more like 9:30 because I come in a little bit later. Sorry, guys. But look, I just wanted to chop it up with you guys. Look, I wanted to go home and talk Knicks basketball with someone, and I'm doing it with you guys, and that's really, I wanted to chop it up on the latest Knicks rumors with you guys, with the real ones. Another super chat from AI. Al, I'm sorry if I got to know, man. Just let me know. AI, H, Al, H. He says pull Toppin, and that's a good trade. Look, if you pull Obi Toppin from that trade and you offer that trade to Danny Ainge, he's going to hang up in your face. One of the young kids is going to have to be included in the deal. Zogod says, Marshall, next time join our space. Hit me up on Twitter, Zogod. I'll put my Twitter up on screen in a second. Follow me and I'll join the space, man. I've been joining a couple spaces on Twitter. Knicks Twitter is a funny place. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, it's a funny place. Knicks Twitter. If you know, you know. It's one of the most toxic places you can be, but it's a good place. I want to do this. Everyone hit me up on Twitter. I'm trying to get more Knicks Twitter followers. I love chopping it up with Knicks fans. We can't always go live. Let me get my Twitter in the comment section. Give me a second here, fellas. And I'll do this. Everyone that follows me tonight, if you send me a DM or mention me, I'll follow you back. How about that? I'm all about the follow for follow. I love following Knicks fans on Twitter. I'm going to put the link to my Twitter in the chat right now. There we go. I'm going to put it in there a couple times. Just click on it. Give me a follow. I'll make sure to follow everyone that follows me back. Just send me a DM. Mention me. Let me know, yo, I'm coming from the live show. I'll give you a follow back. Let's ride. Here's a shot for that last super chat from Al or AI. Not sure. Pudge says Knicks Twitter is trash. I wouldn't call it trash. You know, I like listening to the Knicks Twitter spaces. I like hearing the perspective of a lot of Knicks fans out there on Twitter. But, man, it's a little too toxic for me. And I'm all about being toxic. I'm about, you know, getting a little dirty on my dirt on my hands and stuff like that. But it gets a little ugly. Adam Smith says, you say Utah has no leverage. We'll keep Donovan and see you next summer. Well, have fun picking at pick number 17 and being terrible for the next 10 years. Because if your best player is Donovan Mitchell and your second best player is a 30-plus-year-old Mike Conley and your third best player is, who would it be on the Utah Jazz, Malik Beasley? That team is going to win 30 games. You're not going to be bad enough to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. You're not going to be good enough to make the playoffs. You're going to be in the middle road. And that's where you don't want to be in the NBA. Look, you told us, you being Jazz fans and Danny Ainge, that you guys wanted to trade Donovan Mitchell. You didn't request a trade. We didn't call you. You guys called us. You called us because we have what you want. Expiring deals, young players, and multiple first-round picks. I don't see the hoopla with the Jazz having leverage. They do not want to keep Donovan Mitchell on this team. That's why they're shopping him. He didn't ask for a trade. Remember that. Remember that. If he asked for a trade, then I think they would have a little bit more leverage. But they're out there trading him without having requested a trade. Really, the leverage is in the Knicks' hands. They don't want to start the season with Donovan Mitchell. You're just wrong if you think that. Look, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying you're wrong. I appreciate everyone that's followed me on Twitter. I'm going to give some shout outs to people that followed me on Twitter. Jay Perez, I appreciate you. Ariel Torres, appreciate you. Kyle G. Williams, I appreciate you. The GG family, I appreciate you. I just followed all you back. Justin Welch, you got to follow back. Paul, 614295188, just followed you back. DJ, just gave you a follow as well. If you follow me right now, I'll give you a follow back. William Kim, he gave me a follow. I appreciate you. The link to my Twitter is in the live chat. Going to pepper that in there a little bit more, and then we'll move on and talk about a little bit more Knicks news and rumors. Everyone that follows me, I'll give you a shout out on the show and a follow back. Vincent, I appreciate you. Mr. Unknown, I appreciate you. Just followed both of you guys back. Master Search as well. I was already following you, bro. Guess you weren't following me. It's kind of messed up. Bring Donnie home. Just followed you home. Bricks Nation followed you. Declan followed you. Sammy Brennan gave you a follow as well. I appreciate everyone that gave me a follow on today's show. And we got a super chat. Every super chat gets up on the screen. We got a couple supers. I'm slacking. Xbox Homie says, trade Randle for what? Who? At best, cap space. That's what I think it's going to be. If they trade for Donovan Mitchell, the New York Knicks are most likely going to move on from Julius Randle because you can't pay Jalen Brunson $25 million. You can't pay Donovan Mitchell $30 million. You can't pay R.J. Barrett $20 to $30 million, however much you're going to give him on his contract extension. And you can't pay Julius Randle $27 million and then Mitchell Robinson $15 million. I expect the Knicks to move on from a guy like Julius Randle if they do acquire Donovan Mitchell in a trade. For who? Look, I didn't mind the idea from Mark Stein that said that there's been talks, or he heard at NBA Summer League, that the Knicks may have some interest in trading Julius Randle to the Los Angeles Lakers for a guy like Russell Westbrook. If you put together Derrick Rose and Julius Randle, that matches the $47 million that you need to do to acquire Russell Westbrook. Of course, Russell Westbrook would not play for the New York Knicks. The Knicks would buy him out. Why would they do this? Because they could recoup some assets back from the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's say the Lakers give you 1 first-round pick or 2 first-round picks to take on a guy like Russell Westbrook. And you buy him out and you recoup 2 first-round picks when you just gave up 5, 6, or 7 in a Donovan Mitchell trade. And then hopefully you hold on to Obi Toppin in that Mitchell trade and he slots in as your starting 4. And you have a starting 5 of Brunson, Barrett, Mitchell, Obi Toppin, and Mitch Robinson. That's a team you can build with for a very long time. They're all young. They haven't reached their potential. And I think that's a team that would like to play together. That's what I think happens. I think if the Knicks do not trade for Donovan Mitchell, that Julius Randle will start the season on the Knicks. Appreciate your question, Xbox homie. Rich Robinson, what people are missing in this battery Spida gonna the Knicks back? Imagine RJ looking across the floor at Spida in clutch time. Like, let's go. R.J. Barrett, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, and Mitchell Robinson. Those are 4 guys that I would be extremely excited to keep on the New York Knicks for a very long time. I don't understand the first part, though. What people are missing is the battery Spida going to be the Knicks back. I think you're trying to say the excitement and the energy that Donovan Mitchell would bring. Yes, if the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, the city will be set on fire. And the Knicks fans will be ready. Madison Square Garden will be rocking. I can hear it right now. Defense. I can already hear it. I can hear Mike Breen. Mitchell, step back. 3. Bang! Like, it's going to be lit. The Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell. Are we going to be upset for a while that we lost some kids? For sure. But as soon as Donovan Mitchell drops a 40-point ball in a dub against the Boston Celtics in the Madison Square Garden, no one's gonna be crying about it. I'll tell you that much. Rich, I agree with you. Donovan Mitchell is going to set this city on fire if the Knicks trade for him. Knicks will finesse us all when they aren't even talking to the Jazz and give up 8 first-round picks in the young core for Taco Fall in a Snickers bar. Matthew, I appreciate your super chat, but I think you were trying to be funny in a not you missed, bro. You missed. Appreciate the super though, bro. Oh, dog. What up, brother? If Randle stays, there will be no floor spacing. Absolutely. If you had a guy like Donovan Mitchell and then you keep Julius Randle, that means you're 4 players in Randle, Brunson, Barrett, and Mitchell. Randle, Brunson, Barrett, Mitchell. Yes, those 4 guys. They would all be ball-dominant players, and there wouldn't be any spacing because, as we know, Julius Randle likes to operate out of the mid-range game. Well, Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, and Donovan Mitchell all operate best inside the three-point line. They can all shoot the 3, no doubt about it, but they're best when they're attacking the basket. And if you already have Mitchell Robinson, who's not going to stretch the floor, you need some more floor spacers. I don't think Julius Randle fits the long-term timeline of the Knicks at all. I think he's out if they trade for Mitchell. I will say this, though. If the Knicks do not trade for Mitchell, I wouldn't just sell Julius Randle for nothing. I'd see if Jalen Brunson could get the best out of Randle. I'm not saying he can, but I do think that a guy like Jalen Brunson can make it a little bit easier. Travie Trav says Randle can adjust his game, I think. Look, you would hope so. He's a really skilled basketball player. He can put it on the deck. He can score at all 3 levels. What Julius Randle did in the COVID season when the fans were in the building, he was one of the best players in the NBA. 24.1 points per game, 10.2 rebounds per game, 6 assists, shot 46% from the field, and 41.1% from 3. Julius Randle in the 2020 and 2021 season was one of the best basketball players in the association. And when you just look at the raw numbers of what he did in 2021, 20 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, damn, that's pretty good. But you got to look at the efficiency. 41% from the field. That's what he shot from 3 in 2020, and 30% from downtown. Look, as much as we loved it when we were on the back and rooting for Julius Randle in the COVID season, he just was not the same player this past year, and it's hard to root for a guy that gives a thumb down to the fans and tells the fans to F off, and he's a locker room cancer, doesn't dress with the teams, texting and media press conferences. I just don't think he's a guy that you want on the team. Sean, did I miss your super? I'm sorry, brother. Look, I'm working by myself here. Give me a second. Let me pop that up on screen. Here we go. I'm sorry, Sean. He says, F you, Rich Jefferson. Hey, Marsh, thank you for constant daily Knicks talk. It's time for people to start giving Leon some credit. I'm not going to give Leon credit more so than he already deserves. I think he did a good job this offseason. But this offseason was a lot of cleaning up the mistakes that he made last offseason. Had to get off of that Alec Burks deal. Had to get off of that Nerlens Noel deal. Like, he made some mistakes last season. We know that they were trying to trade a guy like Evan Fournier, who they signed last year. Did he do well and, fix the mess that he made last year? But I don't want to crown him as the guy that's going to save the New York Knicks till he makes a deal for Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks don't get fleeced. I appreciate the super chat, Sean. You're a real one. I always see you in the comment section. Shout out to you, bro. I'll get a shot rolling. But yeah, no, Leon Rose has done a solid job here with the Knicks, but he took this whole offseason to fix what he did last year. And Deadly is saying, but he fixed that. He did. But you shouldn't have to fix it. And you're really your first offseason operating in free agency. You had to go and clean up the whole mess you made. And that's okay because you did it. And the Knicks are in a comfortable spot. But TBD on giving Leon more credit. He's done a good job. He's drafted well. The Grimes pick was awesome. He did well. I like the McBride pick, but I need to see how it goes consistently. All super chats get on screen, and we'll do some shots as well for super chats. Woo! Sean, got you, my guy. I'm sorry I missed it. I think we got some more soups coming in. And Sean, I'm sorry I missed your super, but I appreciate you super chatting to let me know that I missed your super chat. I want to do a Knicks, like a mailbag where I answer your guys' questions. Give me a second, though. Give me a second to operate over here. Let me put a question up on screen. Or we'll do this. If you haven't yet, go down right now, hit that big red button. Here at New York Knicks Now, we put out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors. We've been growing like crazy. Over 3.7 subscribers added in the past 28 days. That's a shout out to all of you guys. It's honestly incredible that you guys answer the bell every single time that we put out a video. And it's incredible to go back and see the views and see how much you guys have been supporting the channel. Because look, we can't do what we do here at New York Knicks Now if you guys don't show love. And you guys have been showing more love than I've really ever imagined that we can. I love going back in the comments and seeing all the comments that you guys have. Some of you guys are saying that I've become your favorite. Knicks Now has become one of your favorite channels on the Knicks, and that's awesome. But look, guys like CP The Franchise, Knicks Film School, Knicks Media, they do a lot of great things as well. And look, they inspired me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and here we are. We'll do this, though. Comment using hashtag Knicks. And your question will get on the show. And we'll do like a mailbag that I might post on the channel a little bit later in the week where I'm answering your guys' questions. So if you have a question, use hashtag Knicks. It's got to be hashtag Knicks like this up on screen. If it's not going to register in the system that we have here, and it's going to make my life a whole lot harder. So if you have a question that you guys want me to answer, use hashtag Knicks, and we'll pop those questions up on screen. Denny says you should join the panel at Blue Orange Tears Marsh. I like what they do as well. I know they were live earlier today. I want to give a shout out to all Knicks content creators, man, because look, hasn't been too fun being a Knicks fan. And a lot of us have stayed loyal. If you got a friend that's a Knicks fan, just know they're loyal. Loyal to the soil. If you got a question, use hashtag Knicks, not Giants, I'm sorry. Hashtag Knicks to get on the show. We'll pop your question up on screen. Hashtag Knicks. Sean's coming in with another super chat. He's a real one. I appreciate you, Sean. Pop that super chat up. Let's ride. Bro, LOL, you my guy. Just sleep in the studio tonight and tell me you'll see her in the morning. But I watch this channel more than any other channel. Sean, I appreciate you, bro. We can't do what we do here at New York Knicks Now if it's not people like real ones like Sean. Look, if we put out videos and nobody watches, we're not going to be able to continue to do videos. But the thing is, you guys answer the bell every single time. Sean, I appreciate you. You've been rocking with Knicks Now for as long as I can remember. Look, we started this channel just a year ago, and we're already up to almost 11,000 subscribers. That tells you how many diehard New York Knicks fans are out there. The Knicks are the best fan base in the world, and I think it shows every single time that we put a video out up here. Andre says, whatever happened to the power forward center from Oklahoma Thunder that they let him go? Can't remember his name. He's a beast. I need a little more context than that, brother. All right, let's get into a mailbag here on New York Knicks Now. First question coming in from Atlantic Lion. He asked, when the Knicks get this trade done, New York would need one more great player. Who should that player be? I love my guy, Richard Jefferson. Type F Richard Jefferson in the comments section, the biggest Knicks hater in the world. But I don't think the Knicks have to make another move immediately after they get a guy like Donovan Mitchell. Because you have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, all guys younger than 25 years old. And this isn't it is a win now move, but it's not a go all in at all costs and try to win an NBA Finals this season. That's not what this move is. This is a move that's setting you up for the future years to come. Donovan Mitchell, 25. Jalen Brunson, 25. Mitchell Robinson, 24. R.J. Barrett, 22. You continue to let these guys grow. Maybe you add someone in the draft. You still have 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. You can't trade all of them, so you'll still have picks to make in the NBA draft. Yeah, the fireball's catching up to me a little bit, but look, we're never scared. I don't think they make another move immediately. I think they rock out with that. But could they go out and sign Carmelo Anthony, an NBA free agency? I think that Carmelo wants to come home to the New York Knicks. Earlier in the offseason, there were reports that Carmelo has been a name that's been brought up in the Knicks front office, and they haven't shot it down as an opportunity. So if you want the Knicks to go out and sign Carmelo Anthony, you can go down in the comments and type 7, and I'll know you're rocking with Melo. Arrow Man, what up, bro? Once the Knicks get Mitchell, are they done, or are they making more deals? I think they would be in the market to sign cheaper free agents. Maybe a guy like Carmelo Anthony, like we just talked about. Or maybe you go out and say you trade Emmanuel quickly, or you trade Derrick Rose and you need another bench guard. Maybe you go out and sign a veteran like Eric Bledsoe. Maybe you trade Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish and you need another wing. Maybe you go out and sign a cheap free agent like Tony Snell or Jeremy Lamb. The rest of this roster would be filled out after the trade on low-level free agents. I don't think the Knicks would make another big trade. See a whole bunch of 7s in the chat. That's what up. But Arrow Man, I don't think they make another trade. I think they fill out the rest of the roster in NBA free agency. Caesar, what up, bro? Knicks. Also, Richie. Yeah, Richie from Knicks Media. I gave Knicks Media a shout out. Does some really good videos about the Knicks. But anyways, my question is, if we do make this move for Donovan, does the deal for Randle happen with Westbrook if Obi is in the deal? That's a great question. I think if you trade Obi Toppin, look, no matter what, I'll say this. If you trade for Donovan Mitchell, I think Julius Randle is on his way out. Whether you include Obi Toppin or you keep Obi Toppin in a Donovan Mitchell trade, I think you're going to have to move on from Julius Randle. He doesn't fit the roster construction. Too many ball-dominant players. Too many players that are most efficient in the mid-range and driving game. And he is just someone that is going to cost too much money. If you pay Jalen Brunson $25 million, you pay Mitchell Robinson $15 million, you pay R.J. Barrett anywhere from $20 to $30 million, and you pay Julius Randle $27 million, you're not going to have any flexibility going forward. And that's why I think no matter what, Julius Randle is going to be on his way out if you trade for Donovan Mitchell. I don't see any way in the world that a guy like Randle stays on this team if you make a move for Donovan Mitchell. I do think it might just be a salary dump, though, for Julius Randle. We know his value across the league is not that high. And I think if they trade for Mitchell, he's on his way out. Alvin, Obi Grimes IQ. If you had to keep one, who would it be? That's a great question. If I had to choose one of those guys, I'm rolling with Obi Toppin. I think he fits the current construction of the roster. The Knicks would need a power forward, then they can move off of Julius Randle. And you could have a starting 5 of Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson going forward for a very long time. I think Obi fits that group the best. He doesn't need the ball to be effective. He can push the pace in the fast break. He can get easy layups and dunks. I think he's going to grow into a versatile defender the longer he sticks around a guy like Tom Thibodeau. 6'9", 6'10", long wingspan, an extreme athlete. I think he's going to get better and better and stronger. And I just think he fits the way the Knicks want to move going forward. But I'll ask you that question. Pick one to keep. If you could only keep one of these guys in a trade, let me know who it is. Type 1 for Obi Toppin, type 5 for Emmanuel Quickly, or type 6 for Quentin Grimes. Let me know which one of these guys you would want to keep in a Donovan Mitchell trade. My guy Rich says, sorry about Super Chat MG. I'm taking shots too. Do not apologize, Rich. I understood what you were saying. I think you were saying that Donovan Mitchell would light the fire and bring a battery type of energy to MSG, and I totally agree with you. Don't ask me what's in my cup. Whew. Throat was getting a little bit dry there. Pause. We got some 1s from Obi in the chat. We got some 6s for Quentin Grimes. Sav says 5. Damon Anthony says 1. The GG family says 1. Big Blue 56 says 1. Fred Rodriguez says, I grew up with Obi's dad. That's what up. Rich, I'm right there with you. Big facts. Energy and chemistry can change everything. I think Obi just fits that lineup better. I really do. I think the pick and roll with a guy like Brunson and Mitchell and RJ with Obi as the role guy, he can hang out in that short corner. Hopefully he continues to become a better three-point shooter. I think he just fits the way the Knicks want to move a little bit more. We got some super chats rolling in. Shout out to you guys. Let me get those up on screen. Oh, dog, what up, fam? If I was the Knicks, I would start using the Nets as leverage with fake negotiations for KD. Make Utah sweat more. I see that you're a hustler, oh dog. That's what's up. Look, I think this is a lot of leverage play coming out. I think both sides are feeding information to Woj, Windhorst, Mark Stein. I think both sides are trying to find leverage. And sometimes in a deal, when you're dealing with two stubborn GMs and Leon Rose and Danny Ainge, and both sides feel that they have the leverage, because the Jazz feel like they have leverage. The Knicks feel like they have leverage. I think the Knicks have the leverage. But when both teams think they have the leverage, it's tough to make a trade happen, because you have two guys that are stubborn in Leon Rose and Danny Ainge. We know Danny Ainge is only going to make a trade if he feels like he's ripping somebody off. And I think Leon Rose is a very shrewd and smart businessman. So I think you're right, man. I think if you got to start putting some feelers out there or some reports out there that the Knicks are interested in KD or something along those lines, anything you can do to get the Spider to New York at this point, frickin' do it, man. Let's roll. Let's get 45. Who's going to wear number 45 if he gets traded? Will it be Jericho? Will it be Donovan? Will Donovan switch numbers? Not really all that important. Just something to think about as I'm a little bit having a little fun on this juice we're sipping on. Matthew says, does Obi break out this year if Randle gets booted? I 100% think he does. I think Obi Toppin will be one of the biggest beneficiaries he will be the biggest if a guy like Julius Randle is no longer on the team. Last year, we were all arguing that Obi Toppin should have been playing more minutes. No doubt about it, right? I think if you move on from him and you get to continue to build Obi and get him more in the lineup, this is someone that's going to get minutes. I'm going to move over some stats right here, pop some stats up on screen in a second. Give me a second to work here. But Obi Toppin, every single time he's got minutes to play, he's produced. Like he has. He's been someone that every time his number has been called, he's answered the bell. Look, when he closed out the season, taking the starting spot of Julius Randle, he started going off, man. What did he have, 47 points one game or 40 points one game or something? Obi Toppin's the real deal, man. A lot of people don't want to give Obi love because he started a little bit slow his freshman year or his rookie season in the NBA. But when Obi Toppin starts, he started 10 games this past season, Obi Toppin did. 20.3 points per game in those 10 games, 7 rebounds, shot 57% from the field, and 43.6% from downtown. Look, if Obi Toppin is getting consistent minutes, he's going to consistently produce. And I think alongside a trio of Brunson, Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin is the perfect 4 to have on this team. He's going to push the pace in the fast break. He's going to be able to convert easy buckets, and sometimes you need that when you have a lot of bad shot makers and bad shot takers. But this is the stat that I think is a little bit more important, and it's honestly a tragedy. When Obi Toppin gets 20-plus minutes per game, which only happened 17 times this season, shout out to Tom Thibodeau for that, he produced 15 points per night, almost 6 rebounds, almost 60% from the field, and 33% from 3. When Obi Toppin plays, Obi Toppin produces. I don't want to say it, but there's a nickname that's floating around out there around Obi that a lot of people on this channel don't like. If you know, you know, though. Obi Toppin, look, if he gets to play more. I truly believe that Obi Toppin will break out this season. Matthew showed some stats. I hope that that was effective because I thought it was. Big L. I hope I'm not taking a big L or the Knicks are. $10 super. What up, fam? My offer is Evan Fournier, IQ, Cam, McBride, and 5 to 6 picks. Do the trade with the Lakers, buy out Westbrook, and start Obi Toppin. I don't know if Fournier, IQ, Cam, and McBride is enough. I really don't. I would do the deal. I'd love to get Donovan Mitchell and only have to give up IQ, and I get to keep Quentin Grimes and Obi Toppin. But I do think that 2 of the 3 of Obi, IQ, and Quentin Grimes are going to have to go. I think 2 of them are going to have to go. I really do. From everything you read, it sounds like they want Obi and Quentin Grimes. It sucked to see them both go. But if you get Donovan Mitchell in New York, rocking the blue and orange at 25, three-time All-Star, got out of the first round of the playoffs twice, and he played next to stiffs on that roster that he did in Utah. Imagine him next to Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson. It's going to be a better team. No doubt about it. Let's go back to this one. Name a random Knick. Let's do that. I thought that was fun. We got to see how long some of you guys have been fans. The sex bots are in the chat once again. If you guys want to type B to block the bots, they'll get out of here. Just type B. But name a random Knick for me. Some dude says David Lee. Love me some David Lee. Caesar says my lord. Yeah, it's ridiculous that the sex bots are in here. Shaw says that report was not true. Well, how do we know? How do we know it's not true? Because the trade didn't happen today? He said the deal wasn't done. He didn't say it was going to happen today. We'll pull up the full quote for you, and I'll read it for you. He said this right here, as you guys continue to name random Knicks in the comments. Patrick Cannon on the radio today said, I've been receiving texts as we speak that the Donovan Mitchell deal is done. It is agreed upon. They are working out some final details to have it be announced here shortly. And, quote, it is a haul. What is shortly? Is that an hour? Is that 2 days? Is that 3 days? Is that a week? I don't know. Do I think it's true? No. But I don't think anyone could say it's not true. Because as we all know, Mark Stein said a deal is going to get done. Brian Windhorst said a deal is inevitable. Tim McMahon said he thinks a deal's already done. Or it's going to get done, excuse me. Tim Bontemps of ESPN said he believes the deal's going to get done. So how come we think that this report is just false? I don't think it is. No one came out and said it is. I don't know. Do I think it's true that a deal is done? No, but I don't think it's untrue either, if you catch my drift. Let's get some random Knicks going in the chat. This is a fun game. Let me pull up the chat right here. I bet it probably looks weird when I'm looking off to the side. Tony Douglas from Markel Wells. Sean, Terry Cummings. John says Steve Novak. Vincent says Antonio McDice. Deadly says Chris Copeland. Wow. Elvis says Eddie Curry. True Be Told TV says Nate Robinson. John said a deal is not... the comment went away. A deal is not done yet. Yeah, it might not be done yet. But I do still think a trade happens. Rich, what up, fam? He says Eric Anderson, 1989. Caesar says Larry Hughes. My dad loved Larry Hughes. He thought he was going to be a difference maker when we acquired him. Speak says Pablo Prigioni. The GG family says Ewing. I wouldn't call him random. Juju says, I think he gets traded next year. They're going to hold on to him through this season. There's no reason for them to trade him next year. Just rework it and fill it out. The whole point to trade him is so you have a good draft pick in the 2023 draft where it's loaded with talent. And the best asset the Jazz have right now is their own first-round pick. And that first-round pick will be better if they trade Donovan Mitchell. If you hold on to him, that pick's not going to be so good. Donovan Mitchell is that good of a player. Brandon says Chauncey Billups. Robert says Larry Johnson. I wouldn't call him random. Hector, Kenny Walker. That is a random Knick right there. We got a Mozgov, Starberry. Michael says Brandon Jennings. I thought that was going to be a great move by the Knicks. I thought he was going to compete for 6th man of the year, but Brandon Jennings did nothing for the New York Knicks. Let's do this. Let's do I'm going to do this right now. I think I know how to do this. Give me a sec. Let me work out real quick. If you haven't yet, like the video. If you love the Knicks, you hate the Celtics, you hate the Heat, I want you to go down right now and like the video. More people that like this video, more Knicks fans are going to tune in. That's what we're looking for. We want to make this one of the biggest Knicks channels out there. The Rise of the Knicks says Tracy McGrady. Caesar says Ron Baker. Hold on. Give me a sec here. I should know how to do this. Got a super chat rolling in. Let me pop that up on screen for you. From the Big L, already sent in a $10 soup. He says, I'm with you, Matt. Not sure who Matt is, but I say F them picks and save Obi and Grimes. They will be invaluable. Look, if you can only have to trade one of the kids between Grimes, Quickly, and Obi Toppin, you only got to trade one of those guys. I'd include 6, 7 first-round picks. I really would. F them picks. Type F them picks in the comments if you're feeling like that. Because, look, I don't really think if you can keep Obi and Quickly and Grimes as the one guy, the centerpiece, add as many picks as you have to get that deal done. I really do think that would that's smart. I'm trying to do something here, but the thing is, I can't figure it out. And I should know this. There we go. Boom. We just changed the chat to subscribers only. Subs only. So I want everyone to do this right now. If you're subbed to the channel, I want you to type me in the comment section right now. Because there's a lot of people watching today's show that are not subscribed. And I only really want the real ones, a.k.a. the subscribers, to be able to chat. So if you're a subscriber, I want everyone in the comment section right now, give me a second. Type me if you are subbed. Type me. If you're not subbed, you're not going to be able to chat right now. So go subscribe, hit that big red button. We put out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors. And with the turnout today, I think we're going to start doing a little bit more live shows, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I see a whole bunch of people typing me in the comments. Arthur, Harry, let me go back to this screen. I just can't even read off that TV. Tony Stark, Arthur Evanson, R. Lester Carney, Harry Hungria, Big L, Tyler, Zev, Nabar, Justin, the GG family, K. Sway, Nathaniel, Stolen Harley, Elvis says Trey Burke, Derek says me, Zev says me, Preston Yoder says me, if you know, you know, King says me, Kai, T, John, George, John, Eric, Nabar, Fugazi. Joel says me, turn super sane. Jay Barron says me. Look, if you want to chat, hit that big red button. Subscribe, and I'll let you back in the chat. How many subs are we at right now? Let me see. Let's see what's going on. 510,573 subscribers on the channel. Subscribe. Big L's telling everybody to hit the like button. Big L, shout out to you, bro. You're a real one. Still got people naming some random Knicks. I'm always down for that. Let's get to 11K. Just like the GG family just said. If you're subbed, type me. And if you're not subbed, what are you doing? Subscribe for videos every single day. That's what we do. And we're all about audience interaction here. Because that's why we're called Chat Sports. It's a two-way conversation. It's not just me up here talking about the Knicks. You know, I really value your guys' takes. That's why we like to do mailbags. That's why I like the Real One roll call. Because I get to see which one of you guys or which one of you ladies are tuning into the show and finishing every single video. Because look, I like to show love to people that show love to me. And if you're subbed, if you're subscribed, and you're a real one, I'm going to show love to you. Because look, I'm just a kid that grew up as a New York Knicks fan, and now I get to talk about the Knicks for a freaking job, man. It's pretty wild. Like, at some points in my life, I didn't ever really even think this was possible, but here we are. talking about the New York Knicks for a frickin' living. That's awesome. Subscribe, because when news breaks, we make a video. I'll tell you this much. When the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, not if, when the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, we're going to be putting out a video for you guys faster than any other channel. Whether that's a video on demand or we go live, we'll be one of the first people up on YouTube talking about the trade. And we'll be talking with you guys, chopping it up like we are right now. It's a two-way conversation. If you love the Knicks and you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube for free daily videos, hit that big red button. Let's ride. New York Knicks Now to the moon. Let's make it happen. I would say we're the fastest growing Knicks channel on YouTube. We're just over a year old. We're already almost at 11,000 subscribers. We just got another super chat. We'll do this as well. Let me pop this super chat up. Got a whole bunch going on. But I'm trying to show everybody love. Xbox homie, what up, bro? They say, give me a sec. Offseason was a win the moment Gibson was traded. Come on, show Taj some love. Taj played his heart out for the Knicks. He really is. He's a junkyard dog. Look, was Taj deserving of playing 30 minutes per night? No. But he played his ass off. He played hard. He bleeds New York Knick blue and orange. He's a kid that grew up in the city. It meant a lot for him to play for the Knicks. And he played like a freaking soldier out there for the Knicks every single time he was. Exactly. Just like some dude says, at least Taj played with damn heart. Unlike Randle. Look, if Julius Randle played as hard as Taj Gibson, he'd be one of the best players in the NBA. No doubt about it. I do not want to see Taj Gibson play a lot of minutes. I think he's an awesome person to have in your locker room. He's someone you want to have around the team, coaching up young guys. I'm sad he went. I really am. So even though you're a real one, Xbox homie, I don't agree with you. And that's okay. We don't always have to agree on everything. I want to do this, though. We are $5 from $100 in Super Chat. Some people said it couldn't be done. Some people said the first time we went live on this channel, it was going to be a dud. 50 people would be watching. I told them, you must not know how many real ones we have on this channel. You must not know how many diehard New York Knicks fans are out there. And I can't wait to walk into work tomorrow and say the real ones showed up for New York Knicks Now, and they answered the bell. A milestone I set today was $100 in Super Chats, and we are $5 away. If someone is as willing and wants to show some love in Super Chat, I don't want to pressure anybody to doing that. You don't have to, but if you want to show some love and get us above the $100 Super Chat mark, we'll get there. This one just rolled in, so now we're $3 away from $100 in Super Chat. Super Chats. The broken chip, you're a real one. I appreciate you, bro. Me, the real one. Real ones only. No doubt about it. You've been rocking with me for a really long time, bro. Knicks, Giants, you're a real one. This one's for you. Woo! What do they say when the liquor starts to taste like water? What does that mean? I don't know, but we're getting close. I'll tell you that much. Whoa, we did it. Let's ride. We got some super chats rolling in. You guys are a bunch of real ones. Holy shit. Speak Ether. What about Rokas Jacobaitis added to the trade? I don't really know if he's a needle mover for Danny Ainge. We can include him. Jace, yes, I am feeling good. Elvis says, you a wild boy. Look, I'm just here. I'm here for you guys, man. Because look, I follow a lot of Knicks YouTube pages, and you know, I go home after work and I watch them, and it's like, why can't I just talk with you guys about the Knicks? That sounds like fun, and here we are. We're an hour and 24 minutes into the stream, 630 people strong. Nobody thought this was possible. Anything is possible! Shout out to Kevin Garnett. If you know, you know. But speak, what about Rokas? If he wants to be included in the trade and it moves the needle for Danny Ainge, include him. I don't really have too many high thoughts about him. He has potential. He's shown some skill. He's obviously a talented player. But if he can be included in the trade and he moves the needle, send his ass to Utah. R. Lester, thank you. I appreciate you. If you have a question, please ask it. I'd love to answer your question, man. I really would. I appreciate it. Same with you, Sean. Sean, wow, supers are rolling in. You guys are real ones. Sean or R. Lester, if you have a question, and just like you, Al, AI, I'm sorry, our font here is kind of hard to read. I think it's Al, though. I'm going to go with Al. If it's AI, tell me. Al, I appreciate you. R. Lester, Sean, or Al, if you have a question, ask it. Wow, another super. The rise of the Knicks. Mitchell and Brunson will be epic. Last time Julius played good, he had a point guard. So we'll break this down. We'll do this. Name a backcourt in Knicks history that's better than Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. And I'll wait. Tell me the team and tell me the guys. The last time the New York Knicks had a better point guard and a better shooting guard than Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. I'm in the comment section. I'm waiting. Someone tell me. Name the team. I'm very interested. I'll do another shot because you guys answered the bell. We got to $100 in soups. I don't ever want to be known as a faker to you guys. I'm a real one. You guys are real ones. If you're still watching at this point, you can drop a real one. Someone says, Tyler says Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe. Case in point. Derek says Ray Williams and Ray Richardson. My point. Jamal Parker says Charlie Ward and Allen Houston. My point. Joel says John Starks and Allen Houston in the 90s. My point. Speak Ether says Frazier and Monroe. My point. HB says Michael Ray Richardson and Ray Richardson. My point. You guys see what I'm saying? I understand that sometimes when you make a move and it's not for a superstar or an MVP player, people want to, not say, say it's not worth it. The New York Knicks have been the laughingstock of the NBA my entire life. And if you're telling me we can go out Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, and people are complaining that that team's ceiling is a second-round playoff exit, I'd chop off my freaking pinky to get to the second round of the playoffs. Like, come on, guys. Know where you come from. It's been a long, rugged road for Knicks fans. And you're telling me if we get to rock with the starting four of R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Mitchell Robinson, people are going to be complaining? Come on, man. Come on. Look. Like, come on, guys. I want to do, here, we'll do this. I want to move over a graphic. You guys are going to love this. Give me a second. Like, I understand some people are afraid to make the trade. They have Carmelo Anthony scared syndrome, and I understand that. This isn't the Melo trade, though, at all. The rise of Knicks, you're 100% right, bro. The last time Julius played well, he had a point guard. That's why if we don't trade for Mitchell, I like to hold on to Julius. But I do think if we trade for Julius, unfortunately, or if we trade for Donovan Mitchell, I think Julius is on his way out. Like, sometimes you got to remember where you come from. We come from a rugged place of point guards with the New York Knicks. Let's take a look at some starting point guards for the New York Knicks in the past couple of years. Ignore the numbers on the bottom and the commas. I'm not changing that. It's not going to happen. New York starting point guards on opening night. Kemba Walker in 2021. Elfrid Payton in 2020. Alonzo Trier in 2019. Trey Burke in 2018. Ramon Sessions in 2017. Derrick Rose in 2016. Jose Calderon in 2015. Shane Larkin in 2014 for Shane Larkin. Like, guys, this franchise used to be in point guard hell, in guard hell. 2013, Pablo Prigioni. Raymond Felton in 2012. Tony Douglas Raymond Felton, and Chris Duhon. We have been in point guard hell since 2009. And Jalen Brunson is the best Knicks point guard since Stephon Marbury in 2004-2005. And we're complaining about giving him a backcourt mate of Donovan Mitchell? I'm all about being selfish. I'm all about, divvying up the pot to where the Knicks come on top. But you're telling me we're going to complain about a Donovan Mitchell and a Jalen Brunson backcourt? Come on, guys. We're better than that. I'm a picky eater, but I'm not picky with who the Knicks get if they're good players. And that's what Donovan Mitchell and that's what Jalen Brunson are. Big L, appreciate the super chat, bro. Liz Bird says, thanks for the info. I appreciate you, bro. We did the best we could with who was willing to come to our team. Leon Rose and Wes really helped the culture. The best part is our beloved owner has stayed quiet through this process, 100%. Dolan, when you don't hear or see from Dolan, it's a good thing. Don't ask what's in my cup. Don't ask. Big L, you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head, bro. You're a real one. I appreciate you. Look, Leon Rose, he's done a solid job. Cleaned up a lot of his mistakes this offseason. But sometimes the ability to admit you made a mistake and clean it up, that's a good sign from a leader. Stolen Harley, I appreciate you. Knicks tape, let's ride. That team was fun. That was probably the last time the Knicks were good for a couple years in a row. Atlantic Lion, A. Marsh, thanks for all you do, man. Love watching you and eating at work. Remember, Knicks in 6. I remember. Atlantic, you're a real one. I appreciate you. This has been a lot of fun, guys. It really has. Honestly, you guys exceeded my expectations. It's incredible. I'd like to do another Twitter push so I can talk to you guys even when I'm not on the show. I like to chop it up on Twitter, whether it's DMs or mentions with a lot of Knicks fans. And I want more Knicks fans to follow me so I can follow back more Knicks fans. Every person that follows me on today's show, I'll give you a follow back. I'm peppering the link to my Twitter in the comments section. I think I just saw Vincent Cavallo says, where do you live, Marshall? Right now, I live in Dallas, Texas. That's where the Chat Sports Studios are. I was born in Long Island as a kid, really only lived there for 2 years. And then my family moved to Houston, Texas, because my dad, he found my mom and he moved to Houston. That's where I was raised, but I've been a Knicks fan my entire life. My dad lived in New York for 35 plus years. I was raised by a New Yorker. I bleed blue and orange. I love the New York Football Giants. I'm a New York Yankee fan. Those are my squads. Look, it's been a cool summer. The Yankees have been hot. The Knicks have been fun to talk about. They're making moves. And the Giants, the Giants fucking break my heart. That's what they do. But everyone that follows me on Twitter, links in the chat. Everyone that gives me a follow, I'll follow you back. If you already follow me, that's what's up. If you haven't yet hit that like button, we're at 391 likes. Let's get to 400 likes right now. Hit the like button. Show some love. 9 likes away from 400 likes. Anthony LaRucco says, you're damn right. Leon Rose is the Don. I don't know about that. I hope he's the Don and he brings Donovan Mitchell to New York. That's what I hope happens. Oh, wow. This comment's getting up on screen. Holy shit. Give me a sec. Hold on. That's a fireball burp right there. Sorry if you heard that. Big Blue. Soto and Donovan would be great. Are you talking about Juan Soto to the New York Yankees or Kai Soto to the New York Knicks? I don't think you're talking about Kai Soto. Now that I think about it a little bit more, I think you're talking about Juan Soto. Broken Chip says you need a Yankee channel. It's been talked about. It's been talked about. Anthony says, "Oh, bro, you got to do your research and be 100%. What am I not 100% about? Let me know. Let me know, Anthony." He says, "Nobody will follow you if you don't know what you're talking about." What do I not know that I'm talking about? Let me know, brother. Please help me out. Be better. Let me be better. Got some. Anthony, please inform me. Where in Long Island was I born? Deer Park area. So I'm confused, bro. I think this guy's trolling me. I think I'm getting trolled, guys. I don't know what he's saying. All right. Yeah, he's not. You're from Strong Island. Shout out to you, bro. Let's put some comments on screen. If you want your comment on screen, use hashtag Knicks like my brother BKL Contreras. I think his name goes a little bit longer, but it cut off on the graphic. Mr. Swag says, "Yeah, you're right, bro. I can't push your F it, I did. Screw it. It's in the chat." You're my guy. If Donovan Mitchell will join in the New York Knicks in the trade, what do you think we'll trade instead? Neither youngster, if it's necessary. I think you got to give up 2 of the 3. Of Obi, Grimes, and Quickly, I think you got to give up 2 of the 3. Cost to be the boss in a trade, you got to spend money to make money. Donovan Mitchell's going to make the New York Knicks a lot of money, I'll tell you that much. Caesar, if Obi and Randle are both not a part of the future Knicks, who's the Knicks starting power forward then? Cam Reddish? Isaiah Hartenstein? Money Mitch, it's a good question. I think they'll look to the free agency market. Could it be Carmelo Anthony? Maybe. Type 7 if you want it to be Melo. Someone's Brian, relax, Brian. I don't know who Anthony is. Oh, Anthony. No, it's not F Anthony. No, we like Anthony. I think he was just confused and maybe wanted my attention. Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to need an Uber home, I'll tell you that much. Some dude says, "Marshall, what you think about ESPN bashing Knicks about the media not being invited to the Brunson thing?" We talked about it in the office today at work, and I'm going to be honest, I don't give a shit that the media wasn't there. Because you know why? That would have took the spotlight and, the shine away from Jalen Brunson. The Knicks are already being investigated in a tampering period. Why on earth would they want to let media members in and ask them about Donovan Mitchell? Because even if you tell the media they are not allowed to ask about Donovan Mitchell, you think Mark Berman is listening to that? Not a chance. That presser would have turned into the Donovan Mitchell show, and that's unfair to Jalen Brunson. I feel like as Knicks fans, we have not been showing Jalen Brunson enough love. And I think we're all focused on Donovan Mitchell, which is fair. But I want everyone to remember how good of a frickin' basketball player Jalen Brunson is. In the playoffs, Jalen Brunson, 21.6 points per game, 3.7 assists, 46.6% from the field, and almost 35% from down frickin' town. Do I care that the media was not there? No, I don't give a shit. Because they would have turned it into the Donovan Mitchell show. And that's not fair to him. That's not fair to Jalen Brunson. We're already being investigated for tampering. Why the hell would we do that? Jalen Brunson deserves the show and the spotlight. I would have liked to seen it be, a classic press conference, and that might come down the line for sure. But let's show Jalen Brunson some love. A lot of people are like, he can't get it done. Well, he played like a freaking baller in the playoffs. He also played like a freaking stud in the regular season when he became a starter. He started 61 games this past year for the Dallas Mavericks and averaged 17.5 points per game, 5 assists per night, 50% from the deck, and 38.8% from downtown. Jalen Brunson is a dog, and we need to respect him. We're coming from point guard hell. Emmanuel Mudiay, Like, come on, guys. Jalen Brunson's the best New York Knicks point guard since 2004 Stephon Marbury. And we have people complaining, thinking we paid him too much. Jalen Brunson's the 15th highest paid point guard in the NBA. He's probably a top 12, top 10 guy. I think the Knicks got him on a steal. Wait till you see how the Dallas Mavericks play this year without Jalen Brunson. Isaac Smith says Jalen handcuffed Donovan in the playoffs. I don't really agree with that. Donovan Mitchell was still good in the playoffs. I will say this, though. When Donovan Mitchell was guarding Jalen Brunson cooked him. No doubt about that. Remember when Donovan Mitchell or Jalen Brunson, let me see if I can find the stats. Here we go. One sec. I'm hooking you guys up with all the stats today. I'm a one-man band here. Some people do this with two. I do it with one. I'm a one-man band. Look at these numbers right here. I'm about to put it up on screen once our software picks up. Remember against the Utah Jazz, Luka Doncic did not play in game 1. He did not play in game 2. He did not play in game 3. And what did Jalen Brunson do? He answered the bell. He kept the Dallas Mavericks season alive. And he averaged in those 3 games without Luka Doncic 30 points per night, 5 assists, and was extremely efficient. 48% from the field and 41% from downtown. When the pressure was on, when there was no Luka to bail him out, Jalen Brunson said, no Luka, no problem. He balled the F out and kept the season alive for the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks went 2-1 without Luka Doncic. Jalen Brunson in game 1, 24 points. In game 2, Jalen Brunson scored 41 points. You know who was the last Knick to score 41 points in a playoff game and win? Someone guess it in the comments. Who was the last New York Knick to score 40 plus in the playoffs and win? Oh, wait. Someone let me know in the comments. You guys are smart. The real ones are smart. The real ones are out. Let me know. Who was the last New York Knick to score 40 points in a playoff game and win? Someone let me know. Atlantic says Ewing. Wrong. Take Action says Raymond Felton. Wrong. Johnny Davis says Bernard King. Wrong. Walt Frazier from Kevin. Wrong. It was Carmelo Anthony. And you know who it was? It was Carmelo Anthony in 2012. Mind you, it's 2022. Yes, it was Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony. Yes, he scored 40 plus points in the playoffs and won in 2012. Who did it prior to that for the New York Knicks? Patrick frickin' Ewing in 1990. The Knicks have had 2 players since 1990 score 40 points in the playoffs and win. And Jalen Brunson did it last year without Luka Doncic against the Utah Jazz and Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Let's stop acting like Jalen Brunson isn't a primetime player, because that's what he is. He's a frickin' baller. Let's stop sleeping on the kid. Jalen Brunson is an absolute baller. I want everyone to type number 11 in the comment section right now. Number 11. That's the number Jalen Brunson's going to be wearing. Let's show him some love. Type number 11 in the comment section right now. I'll give shout-outs to everybody that does. I want the New York Knicks fans to understand that Jalen Brunson was a hell of a free agent signing, and I can't wait to see him play in Madison Square Garden with the blue paint. Remember, don't ask what's in my cup. Too easy says Brunson good, but your chest is poked out a little bit too much. Yeah. Well, when I get a point guard coming out of point guard hell, you guys saw the graphic a second ago, the starting point guards on opening night for the Knicks. You're damn right I'm going to love Jalen Brunson. I no longer have to watch Tony Douglas, Pablo Prigioni, even though I love Pablo. No more Emmanuel Mudiay. No more Chris Duhon. It's the long list is over. We are finally out of point guard hell. I don't think you guys understand that. When was the last time the Knicks had a good point guard? Jeremy Lin was fun for 4 weeks. Do you guys not remember Alec Burks was our starting point guard for 60 games last year? Alec frickin' Burks. I like Alec. I think he's a good player. Had a good game against the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs in the 2021 playoffs, but he ain't no Jalen Brunson. Everywhere Jalen Brunson has gone, they have won. Villanova, check. The Dallas Mavericks, the Western Conference Finals. Now he's going to come to the New York Knicks and make us respectable. Woo! Joel says not only point guard hell, but do low Mitchell Robinson signing that $60 million contract. He broke the rookie curse. So from my research, a lot of people said that, but the Knicks have not re-signed a first-round draft pick since Charlie Ward to a multi-year contract. So technically, until RJ Barrett signs, the curse is not officially broken. If you just want to call it a Knicks rookie draft pick signing a multi-year contract, then I understand that. But if you want to say first-round pick, it still hasn't been broken. But RJ Barrett will break that. Vincent says, Marshall, who are your other favorite sports teams? New York Giants, New York Yankees, New York Knicks. Those are my squads. If you like the Giants, you can follow. We have a Giants channel here as well at Chat Sports that I run. YouTube.com/KnicksTV. I can't even think straight. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV. You can just go into the YouTube search browser. If you type in Giants Now by Chat Sports, it'll pop up. We just crossed over 10,000 subs over there as well. It's awesome. Some dude says Trey Burke was my guy. Remember that random 40-point game Trey Burke had with the Knicks? That was wild. Armando says, I like Tony Snell to round out the bench. Look, if the Knicks trade Quentin Grimes and they needed a perimeter defender to come play off the bench and sign a veteran minimum deal, I think a guy like Tony Snell would be a perfect option in NBA free agency. Caesar says, I loved Trey Bizzle. Yeah. Trey, he could fill it up, but wasn't a real point guard. Just a scorer. Zesty says, Jason Kidd. Yeah, that was more like Jason Dad because he was old. He was still good for the New York Knicks, no doubt about it. But he ran out of gas when we made it to the playoffs, and he really wasn't a point guard. He was more of a two-guard with the Knicks. Played off ball, made a lot of spot-up threes. Wasn't really a point guard at that team. In the GG family, Michael Drake says, Marshall, I liked Alonzo Trier. If you liked Alonzo Trier, wait till you see Jalen Brunson play basketball. You're going to love him. Dwayne Dennis says, are you an insider? No one else is reporting this. This report, if you're talking about the title of the show, it came from this. There was a report from Patrick Cannon, who's a radio host in Utah. He said the Jazz have agreed upon a deal to trade Donovan Mitchell, but that trade is not done. We'll get you the full quote on screen for everybody tuning in. He said, I've been receiving texts as we speak that the Donovan Mitchell deal is done. It is agreed upon. They are working out some final details to have it be announced here shortly, and it is quite a haul. It is not my report. It is Patrick Cannon's report, who is a radio station host in Utah. I talked to some people that are in the know on about the Utah Jazz organization, about this guy Patrick. They said he's not really a newsbreaker. So he said for him to say this is kind of weird because he's not really known as a newsbreaker, but he's broken some news before. He said he broke the Darren Williams trade, or Deron Williams, however you want to say his name, when he got traded to the Nets from Salt Lake City. Patrick Cannon was also the first one to report the last hire of the GM for the Utah Jazz. Mick Investment. There is no official trade. It is not official. I don't want anyone to think that. This is just a report that they are working out some final details, and it has been agreed upon. Is it real? Is it fake? I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, but I will say this. I believe a Donovan Mitchell trade will get done. Whether that's today, whether that's tomorrow, whether that's this weekend, whether that's in a week, 2 weeks, the day before NBA training camp, Donovan Mitchell will be a New York Knick. No doubt about it. I think it's going to cost you 2 of the 3 kids. Obi, Grimes, and Quickly. It's going to cost you 2 of those guys. Let me just go through some questions. Get them up on the screen. Oh, we got another super chat. Atlantic Lion. Yeah, we already hit this super. We got one more from Michael Drake. Michael, if you have a question, please ask it, bro. Please, I would love to answer your question. Oh, Sammy, I'm just about to body you. Give me a sec, guys. Sammy says, you sound crazy saying another team's bench player is a difference maker. Sign Melo, trade Randle, and bring Donovan Mitchell. He is the real difference maker. Stop overhyping Jalen Brunson. Did you just tune into the show? I just showed you everything you need to know about Jalen Brunson. There's been 2 New York Knicks to score 40 points in the playoffs since 1990. Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony. Jalen Brunson just did that this past playoffs. Jalen Brunson, with Luka Doncic not on the court, and Jalen Brunson is not a bench piece. He started 61 games for the Dallas Mavericks last year. I don't really understand where you're coming from, Sammy. If you'd like to enlighten me a little bit, I'd love to go back and forth. But how can you say he's a bench player when he started 60 games? He also started every game of the playoffs for the Dallas Mavericks. He was the second best player on a team that went to the Western Conference Finals. And we'll pop the stats up on screen one more time. Jalen Brunson in the playoffs was a freaking baller, bro. 21.5 points per game, 3.7 assists, 46.6% from the floor, and 34.7% from 3. Jalen Brunson, if Donovan Mitchell does not get here, is the best player on this roster. Lonnie Williams says, seems like a lot of hubba just because some obscure reporter in Utah may or may not have sources. Look, I'm not saying this report is 100% right. I'm just relaying the report. If you're mad at me for that, I'm sorry, but this is a Knicks News and Rumors channel, and it's my job to talk about the trending topics on this show surrounding the Knicks. And that's what the latest report is. So we're going to talk about it. Ralph, I want to get your comment on screen. Honestly, Mitchell is an all-star super. I think Jalen Brunson will be an all-star with the Knicks, whether it's this year or in a couple years. He is. He says, but I don't think he would be great for us because on the defensive side, we would struggle with 6'1 and 6'3 front court with a defensive head coach. That's a fair problem. But let's remember this, Ralph. The New York Knicks were top 15 in defense last year. And their starting point guard was Alec Burks and Evan Fournier. Jalen Brunson is a better defender than Alec Burks. He's a better defender than Evan Fournier. He's a little small, no doubt about that, but he's smart. He plays a winning brand of basketball. He's willing to sacrifice his body on the line. He's one of the league leaders in charges taken for a guard. So I understand the concerns, but I think Tibbs as a defensive coach should be able to get the most out of this team and the most out of Brunson. John, boom. You're right, John. If Jalen Brunson was to sign with any other team, they would say how great of a... Exactly. It's easy to talk shit about the Knicks. It's fun on Twitter to talk shit about the Knicks. You get laughs, you get clicks, and people just like to pile on because the Knicks are going to nick according to everybody else. But the Knicks did the right thing this offseason. They signed Jalen Brunson, the best available point guard in NBA free agency. That's what the Knicks needed. They needed a point guard, and now he's here. 100% right, John. Oh, dog, you're right. Brunson takes mad charges. He makes up for his lack of perimeter defense, which he's an average defender. He's not a below-average defender. He's willing to sacrifice his body and play a winning brand of basketball. He will step in front of someone and take a charge. I think I agree with this as well, Peter. Why Brunson hide a problem? Tim Hardaway was 6'1" and he was an all-star. It's an easy thing to point at as to why it's concerning, but Remember when the Toronto Raptors won the NBA Finals? Who was their starting backcourt? Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. Neither one of those guys are taller than 6 foot. They got it done. It's just weird, man. Eugene, you're right. Mitchell will take y'all to the playoffs. Been taking Utah since day one. That's what he does. He carries teams to the playoffs. If you think the Knicks are only going to be a play-in team if they add Donovan Mitchell, you're just being a hater. The Knicks won 37 games last year and were a couple games out of the play-in with Alec Burks and Evan Fournier as the starting 1 and 2. You replace them with Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, and they're only going to win like 3 or 4 more games? I call cap. I call BS. This is funny. Joel. ESPN never bashes the Knicks, but always bashes never bashes the Kings, but always bashes the Knicks. You're right, look, because it's fun to talk about the Knicks. People are going to watch when you talk about the Knicks. People are going to laugh when you make fun of the Knicks. But Joel, you are 100% right. G. Smith says, think about it in a year or two. We could have 3 All-Stars on the roster and Barrett, Brunson, and Spider. It's 100% true. I think R.J. Barrett has All-Star potential. We know Donovan Mitchell's a 3-time All-Star. And I think Jalen Brunson can also be an All-Star. He thrived when Luka Doncic was not on the court. Him in a more ball-dominant role, even if Donovan Mitchell doesn't come, he's still going to be great. Remember, don't ask what's in my cup. Whew. Michael Drake, Marshall, haters gonna hate. Type F the haters in the chat. It's just easy to hate on the New York Knicks, man. It really is. It's really a tired and old take. Got a text, hold on. Thought it was important. Thing is, it wasn't. You're right, Michael. Haters are gonna hate. It's easy to hate on the Knicks. And that's what people are going to do. They're going to hate on the New York Knicks no matter what. We got a bunch of F haters in the chat coming from Joel, Arrowman, Byron, Alpha Omega. Rich, you're 100% right. Him coming out of Louisville, he was projected as one of the best perimeter defensive players in the draft. Go back to that draft. Who were the Knicks looking at taking? Frank Ntilikina, Dennis Smith Jr., Donovan Mitchell, and Malik Monk. Did I say that? Monk, Donovan Mitchell, Frank Ntilikina, and Malik Monk. I think I'm saying the names over and over again. But what did they say? If you want the true scorer, it's Malik Monk. If you want the true defender, it's Frank Ntilikina. But if you want a hybrid, it's Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell came into the NBA with high defensive upside, 6'3", 6'10" wingspan, hyper athletic player coming from Rick Pitino. Look, Donovan Mitchell, his defense has fallen off a little bit, but I truly believe if he comes to this team and Tom Thibodeau is coaching him up every single day, he will get to be an average defender. If you have an average defender, that's a lot better than a below average defender. Do I ever think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year? Not a chance, but I think he'd be an adequate defender in the NBA, no doubt about it. Rich, you've been on point all night, bro. Anthony LaRucco says, I heard a rumor that the trade will include Evan Fournier, Hartenstein, Quickly, Reddish. So the Knicks cannot actually trade Isaiah Hartenstein until like December 21st. When you sign someone in NBA free agency, you gotta wait till like December to trade him. So I would I don't see that happening. XCon, this channel rocks. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. Shout out to you, bro. Michael, you on fire. Y'all are on fire. Look, we're 2 hours in at this point. Still 600 people watching live. So shout out to y'all, man. F the haters from Brian. Tyler says F the haters. Armando says, love the way Hunt played in Summer League. Yeah, he was athletic. A lot of dunks. The first game, he had like 7 steals. It was a highlight after highlight going to the rim. But he was 23 playing in the Summer League. If he didn't dominate, I think it would be a little bit of a problem. Isaac says, those players space the floor, and there will be more consistency. Next year, and other players want to come. Look, stars attract stars. And adding Jalen Brunson is going to bring more players to Madison Square Garden. And if Donovan Mitchell comes, that's going to attract another star. Stars want to play with stars. And if you can play with R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, and Donovan Mitchell, sounds like a pretty good team to be on, in my opinion. Michael says, Marshall, at the press conference, Brunson is a dog. No doubt about it, dude. He's a grinder. He's a hustler. He's a winner. He's a hooper. Whatever word you want to use, he's him. Call Jalen Brunson Himothy, because he's freaking him. Justin says, F Stephen A., the fake Knicks fan. Where has he been? Heard he got hurt and he's been off air, but yeah. It's been kind of refreshing not having to hear him talk about the Knicks. Peter says Donovan Mitchell is a decent defender. I think he is decent, and I think he can get better with Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks. I really do believe that. It's because it's the Knicks. You're right, bro. It's easy to hate on the Knicks. We've been the laughingstock of the league for way too many years. Caesar says he dunks on people's heads. Is he talking about Donovan Mitchell? Because he does that. Or is he talking about Ferran Hunt? Let me know. That he does. Ferran Hunt. Okay, Rich says he's on vacay. I heard he was like hurt and had a shoulder injury and it's going to be out a while. Yeah, Caesar, yeah. Bro, did you see the dunk he had at Black Ops with Chris Brickley working out? He tore the rim. The rim broke. Like, 6'1", 6'3", the dude got freaking bunnies. Too easy. Yes, we love Spike Lee. I don't think a lot of people actually love Donovan Mitchell or Stephen A. Smith. Daniel, thank you. Trading for Donovan Mitchell is not the same as trading for Carmelo Anthony. We have to stop saying that. That's a lazy take. When you traded for Carmelo Anthony, you got your treasure chest of jewels and you dumped it out on the freaking table. You traded Raymond Felton. You traded Wilson Chandler. You traded Danilo Gallinari. You traded Timofey Mozgov. You traded 2 first-round picks. If the Knicks trade 6 first-round picks in this Donovan Mitchell trade, do people still realize that the Knicks have 5 future first-round picks over the next 7 years? They also would have a young core of Jalen Brunson, 25, Donovan Mitchell, 25, R.J. Barrett, 22, and Mitchell Robinson, 24. That is a young core you can build and build on for the next 4 to 5 years. This is not the Donovan Mitchell trade. Or the Jalen or freaking Carmelo Anthony trade. We got to stop saying that. It's a lazy freaking take, man. Sammy, what up, bro? Brunson came for the money. I disagree. The money helps for sure, but he's attached to this organization. He's known Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau since before his mom popped him out, if you know what I'm saying. His dad coached with Tom Thibodeau in Chicago. He loves Derrick Rose. He said the reason he came to the Knicks because it was like family. He was a Knicks fan growing up. He said his favorite players in the NBA were Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell. Did the money help? Yeah, it's tough to turn down 100 M's. But he came here to play for the Knicks, no doubt about it. Ex-Con, Brunson will have an immediate impact for Randle if he's still here. Right now, Brunson will have an immediate impact on Randle's game. I do think if the Knicks trade or do not trade for Donovan Mitchell, I want to see a 2-man game of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. The super chat's for the last guy that sent in a super. I appreciate you, bro, even though I didn't really agree with your take. That's okay, though. We don't always have to agree. Sammy, I appreciate you. Let me pour this up real quick. Oh, I'm spilling. Ah! Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, man. Let's ride. All righty. It's 9 o'clock. I think it might be time to get out of here. Might be time to get on out of here. If you have any questions you want me to ask, I'll do this. The sex bots are back. Type B to block the frickin' bots. Yeah, we're in Dallas. I'm in enemy territory, but I'm still rocking with the Knicks. I love our young core, especially if we get Mitchell, says Tyler Roberts. 100%, man. The young core is there. This is not the Carmelo Anthony trade. I wish people would stop saying that. Armando, I appreciate you, bro. You've been here since the start. Good interaction. That's what we do here on New York Knicks Now. It's a two-way street. It's what we're called chat sports. We like to engage. We like to converse on the latest NBA, Knicks news and rumors. And look, this show's not possible without you guys. Let's do this, though. I want to do this right now. For all the real ones out there, type me if you're subbed. Type me. I'll give shout outs. I want to see some me's in the chat. Let me know who's rocking. Caesar, Travis, Sav, Mitsu, Francisco, Pat, Michael, some dude, ex-con, Connor, Cardenas, Armando. All right, look, we'll do this. As long as the super chats roll in, we'll continue to stay. If the super chats continue to roll, we'll stay. We've been live for 2+ hours right now. I've been at work for 12 hours, but I knew tonight was a big night for Knicks fans. A lot of rumors out there, and I felt like I just wanted to talk to you guys about the New York Knicks, man. I live and breathe with the Knicks, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys. Type me, Rich. I already know you're a real one, bro. John, 1EO, Sylvia, Rich, Eugene, Dylan, Anthony LaRucco. Yes, Jalen Brunson is smart with the basketball. Tony B, what up, bro? He's a real one. AON, Caesar, I appreciate you, dog. Jack, Declan, I can't even read that. My eyes are terrible. Sammy says me. Mitchell will be a Knicks, so will Melo. If you want the Knicks to sign Melo, type 7. I'd love to see the Knicks bring back Melo. I think he could do a lot for the young guys on the roster. I think he can come in and still get buckets. He was still good with the Lakers last year, no doubt about it. He was getting buckets. Outside of Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony was arguably the most consistent player for the Lakers last year. LeBron James was hurt. Anthony Davis was hurt. Taylor Horton Tucker sucks. Melo was a dog last year. Let's not forget that. All right. I feel lame for getting on out of here with 487 people watching. But I'm hungry. And I've been here for 12 hours. Michael says, thanks, Marshall. The great show. Rich just sent in a super chat. Look, I'll stay as long as the supers come. If you guys want to continue to talk about the Knicks, we'll do it. As long as the supers are here, we'll roll. We need to see MG and CP the franchise on set together. Real Knicks news. Get these guys out of here. CP the franchise is the GOAT, man. What he's able to do on his channel is incredible. He paved the way for guys like me. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without him. I love CP. I tune into his show a lot. He's a good dude, man. He's connected. Mad love to CP. I'd love to talk Knicks with CP, man. It'd be a good time for real, bro. If anyone wants to set that up, I'd be down. I follow him on Twitter, but he doesn't follow me back. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get the respect from CP and the guys. Rich, you're a real one, bro. All right. Before we get on out of here, let's do one more Twitter push. I'll give shout-outs to everyone that follows me. And I'll follow them back. Oh, we got another super chat. Let's ride. Brian, I appreciate you, brother. If you have a question, please ask it, bro. I would love to answer your question about the Knicks. If I see it in the chat, I'll just answer it. But Brian, if you have a question, I appreciate it. Thank you for super chatting. It goes a long way. It means a lot. You're a real one for that. Oh, we got another super. So we're $29 away from $200 in soups. I'd love to get there. Today's goal was $100 in soups. Right now we're $29 away. If we can get there, that'd be awesome. If not, you guys have done more than you should. Sammy says Melo would be our sixth man of the year and a closer. I think Melo would come off the bench. He'd provide a spark. He could teach a young guy like Obi, if we keep him, what it takes to play in the Madison Square Garden environment, what it takes to be a Knick, how to handle the media, because that's one thing Carmelo Anthony did. He never shied away from the media. He was a real one, never ducked a question. Melo's a dog. I'd love to see him back. No doubt about it. Rich, I am Rich. It's been a long day, Rich. Probably take 10 shots at this point, probably a little bit more. Rich, just know if I'm drinking, you better be drinking, Rich. Because that's what real ones do. They don't let their boys out to dry. And I know you're a real one. You wouldn't let me drink by myself. Is anybody else drinking? Let's do this. One more thing. Donald says Melo sucks. That's a take. Let's do this. Let's pop this up on screen. Who's drinking with me tonight? Tonight's a celebration because the Knicks are better than they were last year. They added Jalen frickin' Brunson, man. Like that is, I don't think a lot of Knicks fans are talking about that enough. We all want Donovan Mitchell, no doubt about it. We want the Spider. We want 45 in MSG. What are you drinking, though? Is anyone drinking with me tonight? You've been drinking a little Fireball. It was a lot more full early on in the show. That's a credit to all of you guys who have super chatted because we said we'd take soups. At first I said for every super chat we'd take a shot, but I'm going to be honest. I didn't know it was going to be this much. I'm going to lean over a little bit. Sorry, guys. My back's starting to tighten up. Someone off the cuff says smoking on that Mavericks pack tonight. Yeah, when I get home, I'm in Dallas. I might join you. Justin says I drink the tears of Brooklyn Nets fans. Gilbert says Tito's and cranberry. Let's ride. Mitsu says Del Taco iced tea. Okay. Rich is drinking Tito's. That's what's up. Donald says Seagram's gin. Bumpy face? My eyes suck. Oh, shit. We got some soups. Hold on. Oh, wow. Some soups are rolling in, and we just crossed away 200. Oh, fuck. I think I've been missing some soups, man. This is tough. I think we hit this one. No? Knicks, Giants, Yankees, only teams that matter. Marshall's Giants content is fire as well. Salute to you, bro. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV, or you can just search on YouTube, Giants Now by Chat Sports. It'll pop up. Broken Chip, if I missed this earlier, I'm sorry. I'm an asshole for that. I'm just going to go through a couple of these because I don't know if I missed them. Michael Drake, I think we showed this one. Look, we'll give you guys more love. Because, look, y'all are showing love. 03 Stang says Randle, too much ISO, needs to stop. Yeah, if he's going to stay on this team, he's got to change his game a little bit. No doubt about it. Ralph, salute to you, bro. Expensive but good pickup with Brunson, but keep Grimes, Obi, and IQ and trade Randle. If you mean trade Randle for Donovan Mitchell, I don't think that's going to happen, my guy. The Jazz are not interested in Randle. They don't want him. They don't want players that have long-term deals left and a lot of money. They want young, cheap players, expiring deals, and picks. That's why a guy like Derrick Rose, who's on an expiring deal of $14 million, will probably be involved. Cam Reddish will probably be involved. He's on a one-year, $5 million deal. Inexpensive? I can understand that. The sticker shock is there, $104 million over 4 years. But he's like the 15th highest paid point guard. I think we got him at good market value, and I'd honestly argue we got him on a steal. Anthony, $20 suit, bro. I appreciate you. Appreciate all your hard work today, bro. Let's get Spida to the Mecca. Man, I can't wait for that to happen. If you thought today's show was fun, wait till we trade for frickin' Donovan Mitchell. Broken Chip, I just hit your last super chat. I got to be better about that. That's on me. All super chats get on the screen here at New York Knicks Now. I apologize for missing that. You're a real one. You know that. You know I'm rocking with you. You're rocking with me. I rock with people that show me love, and you've always done that. Thank you, bro. Sammy says Melo would take pressure off of Brunson and Mitchell, but mostly Brunson. He's never had the pressure like playing for the Knicks, which will be a lot. It's a fair take. I can understand that, Sammy, but I think Jalen Brunson is a dog. Like, he's been fighting the haters, the critics. He's someone that's an undersized guard that's been told he can't do something his whole career. Now he's in the NBA and he just signed a deal worth 100 M's. Like, I don't think Jalen Brunson is scared of anything. That dude's a freaking dog. Like, I think we're all going to realize that in the coming future, how big of a player that Jalen Brunson is. Leo says, should we keep Cam? What upside do you see in Cam? He's a 6'8" wing that can put the ball on the deck. Everything you want in a player, Cam Reddish has it. But sometimes the best ability is availability. And he hasn't really been all that healthy in his NBA career. I think he has all the potential in the world, but he's entering year 4, and it's time for him to put it all together, or he might not be in the NBA for very much longer. He has potential, no doubt about it. But what is potential if you can't tap into it? I don't want to come off as a Cam hater, but he's got to prove it a little bit more to me before I become one of the Cam hive. Ralph, super, what up, fam? Just trade Randle for what you can get so hope he can play. I'm down with that, man. I am. If you just got to dump Randle's salary, I think I'm with it at this point. I'd like to get a pick back, a young player or something, but it means Obi Toppin gets to play 30, 45 minutes per night. Let's frickin' roll. Rich Robinson, dude, you've been on point all night. How many guys have 2 national championships? I can tell you one guy who does. Jalen frickin' Brunson, the point guard of the New York Knicks. That's who. I can't wait for Knicks fans to wake up and stop sleeping on a guy like Jalen Brunson. He's going to light the garden on fire. I would say by the end of the season, if we do not trade for Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson will probably be your favorite player on the Knicks. I'm that confident. I am that confident. 2 natty chips. He wins everywhere he goes. 2 chips. Got to the Mavs. Once he became a starter, they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Mark, you're acting like a narc in the chat, thinking that Brunson's not going to be elite. I don't think you really watch that much ball if you don't think that Brunson's elite. I really do. Joel says Jalen Brunson to win Most Improved Player of the Year. Like, what? He averaged 16 points per game last year. Like, this isn't just some bum. It's just someone that was the second best player on a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals. And then when Luka was out, 3 games against the Utah Jazz, elite, put my money. What do you want to bet on, bro? I just don't think you really watch hoops like that. Because if you don't think Jalen Brunson's a baller, you're not a hoop head, and that's okay. Not everyone's a hooper. Jalen Brunson against the Utah Jazz. First 3 games of the playoffs. No Luka, no problem. You know what he did? Without Luka, he averaged 30 points per game in the playoffs. That's what's up. 30 points per night. 5 assists. Mark the narc. Mark the narc. That's hilarious. But seriously, bro, like, how can you say that these numbers aren't elite? How? 30 points, 5 assists, 48% from the field, and 41% from three. Is that not elite? Let me know in the chat. Are these stats elite or not? Let me know. Are these stats elite? Yeah, that was in a couple of games, but it was in the playoffs when the marbles are on the line. And you know what else he did in the rest of the playoffs? He answered the frickin' bell. 21.6 points per night in 18 games in the playoffs. 4 assists, 46.6% from the field, 34.7% from three. Jalen Brunson's elite, man. He really is. Is he top 5? Is he a top 5 point guard? No. Is he a top 10 point guard? I'd say so. I'd say that's elite. Jeffrey, you're exactly right. On the Mavs, who did they even have? Brunson carried the team without Luka. The Mavs season was in the gutter after Luka Doncic didn't play in game 1. He didn't play in game 2. He didn't play in game 3. And Jalen Brunson won 2 of those games without Luka Doncic to average 30 points per game in that stretch, bro. Like, the facts are the facts. Can't argue with stats, bro. You can't. If 30 points per game without Luka in the playoffs is not elite, I don't know what elite is. Someone tell me. Sammy, another super. You're the man. If Donovan doesn't come, Randle for Russ? Russ 1, Brunson no. No. You do not trade for Russell Westbrook for him to play. The only reason you trade for Russell Westbrook is to cut him and get back assets in a trade where you dump Julius Randle. You cut him, you buy him out, you get a first-round pick or 2 back from the Dallas Mavericks. The Brotherhood Sports, Luka held him back 100%. He's going to be out of the shadow of Luka, and he's going to be able to dominate the ball. Well, it was 3 games, Mark. And I also showed you an 18-game playoff stretch where he averaged 20-plus points per night. If you average 20-plus in the playoffs on the efficiency numbers that he did, yeah, that's elite. Everyone wants to talk about how good Donovan Mitchell is. Jalen Brunson outplayed Donovan Mitchell in that series, and it's really not all that close. Ralph Alexander, I understand that. I understand that for sure. But what about when Jalen Brunson was a starter this year? 17.5 points per game, 5 assists, 50% from the field, and 38.8% from downtown in 61 games this season. If I had a New York Knicks point guard that averaged 18 points per game and 5 assists, I'd name my dog after that dude. I might have to get a dog and name him Brunson. 18 points per game and 5 assists as a starter? That's not elite? That's cap, my guy. That's cap. $17.5 points per game and 5 assists as the second option and the secondary ball handler. I'd say that's pretty good. All right. It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm going to bounce on out of here unless any more soups come in, because if you guys are going to super chat, I'll stay here all night talking about the Knicks. We'll roll out with this, though. Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to go over to Twitter right now. And I'm going to make sure to follow everybody back. Give me a second. Let me get my Twitter link in the comments. Marky Mark, I still love you. I appreciate you supporting the show. I just gotta teach you up about a little bit of ball. Ralph, let me pop that up in a second. Follow me on Twitter. I'll make sure to follow everybody back. I'm going to put it in the chat a lot because we're about to bounce. Sorry for spamming. Ralph, you're absolutely right. All right. Felton did that the first time with the Knicks. But you know what else? Raymond Felton was the number one ball handler. Jalen Brunson was not. Luka Doncic was. And what offense did Raymond Felton play in? The Mike D'Antoni offense, the 7 seconds or less. Look up any point guard that's played under Mike D'Antoni. They had their career year there. He puts his point guards in position to succeed. Put Jalen Brunson. If Jalen Brunson played with Mike D'Antoni, he would average 25 points per night and 7 assists. And if that's not elite, I don't know what the F is. This man averaged 17.5 points per game as a starter, with Luka Doncic having the highest usage rating in the NBA. I still love you, Marky Mark. I still do. I still do. Don't think I don't. I do. I still love you. Matthew Peterson, shots. Let's ride. $224 in soups. 400 people still watching, and we're 2.5 hours in. I am going to head out here in a second, though, no doubt about it. Marky Mark, I have so much real estate in your head right now, it's embarrassing. It's okay, though, bro. Not everyone can have good takes. I don't even have good takes all the time. But the Jalen Brunson take, that's not even a take, that's a fact. The dude's a big-time baller. Petey, that one's for you. Rich Rob, you're gonna put me into cardiac arrest. Oh, Mark, you're not listening. Opening your ears, bro. I'm not saying he's elite because he averaged 17.5. I'm saying he's elite because when he had the chance in the playoffs without Luka, he averaged 30. He scored 42 points against the Jazz and won. 2 Knicks since 1990 have scored 40 points in the playoffs. Carmelo Anthony and Patrick Ewing. You know who the next one is? Jalen frickin' Brunson. 42-point ball against the Utah Jazz and your daddy, Donovan Mitchell. Took him to school. Mitchell couldn't guard him. Rudy Gobert couldn't stop him. Jalen Brunson, 42 points in a playoff game. That's not elite. Is 42 points in the playoffs elite? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know. You're 100% right, Ivan. You're 100% right, Ivan. Jalen Brunson is the best New York Knicks point guard since 2004. You know who the point guard was then? Stephon Marbury. I see a lot of Y's in the chat. I think 42 points in the playoffs is elite. Anybody else out there think 42 points in the playoffs is elite? Yeah, I thought so too. It's okay, Rich. Let him know. Look, he doesn't have to. It takes a man to admit they're wrong. Look, if Jalen Brunson comes to the Knicks and is not good, I'll say I'm wrong. But I've seen it before. I saw him be elite. I saw Jalen Brunson be elite. All right. I'm going to give shout-outs to everyone that followed me. Boston Nick, if you just tweeted me. Yes. I appreciate you, bro. Getting some love on Twitter. I appreciate you guys. You guys have answered the bell tonight. All right, let's get some shout-outs. Strive, Chaos789, followed. Boston Nick, followed you. Jay Lucido, followed. Ray, followed. Dylan Louderback, followed. Benjamin G. Downs, followed. Sean Taylor, followed. Michael Dollar, follow. Keith Turner, followed. Mr. Lee 770, followed. I'll put my link to my Twitter in the comments a couple more times. Probably going to bounce on out of here after we get through these Twitter shout-outs, unless some more soups roll in, because your boy needs something to eat. I'm freaking starving. Daniel Rodriguez, shout out to you, bro. Sin City, followed. Jordan C. Khalifa, followed. Jay Miller, followed. SB Bankroll, followed. King Julius, followed. Rob, followed. Keys, followed. Joe Shane train. Shout out to Joe Shane. Let's ride. New York Football Giants. Let's freaking go. RJ Barrett Defense Brigade, followed. J Money, followed. Eric Ortiz Jr., followed. Wodair, Bear Grylls, Bear Grylls, number 11, followed. East Info, followed. And Weebens Luis, followed. Michael Drizzy Drake, just followed you back. Sorry, brother, if I missed that. Tyler Roberts, followed. NY4TI, followed. Carlos Caba, followed. And Wonderlust, I just gave you a follow as well. Wait, did we agree that 42 points in the playoffs was elite? I don't know if we agreed. I don't like mayonnaise, Mark the Narc. It's Matt. I don't even know your name, bro. What is it? Mac? Mark? There's a Mark in there. It's Mark Mac. Narc the Mark. Or Mark the Narc. That's funny as hell. I thought your name was Mark, but your name's Mac. That's funny as shit. Oh, fuck. All right. If we don't get any more soups, I'm going to put a shot clock up. We'll do this, and then I got to go. I got to go. Go. All right. We'll do 2 minutes. If any soups come in 2 minutes, we'll hit those. If not, I'm bouncing the F up out of here. Follow me on Twitter. Still giving shout outs for that. Millie Don followed. Z followed. King Duncan just gave you a follow. Joel Santos followed. And Justin, I just gave you a follow. We'll put that in the comments a couple more times. Rich Rob. Man, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but if it does, that's cool. Mark the Narc. Someone, let's get that in the comments. Mark the Narc. That's what he is. It's all love and games, though, bro, for real. We're all here to root for the New York Knicks. Even though I don't actually even think you're a Knicks fan. But I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you watch a couple ads, too. Brian, Mark the Narc. That's mean. But this guy's been mean. Look, I show love to people that show love to me. You rock with me, I'll rock with you. All right, we got 30 seconds. I think we're windowing down to 328 live. 30 seconds for a soup. Leo Martinez, damn right. I think a lot of people root for the Knicks. I'd say all 11,000, damn near 11,000 subs we have on this channel root for the Knicks. I think 55,000 subs on CP the franchise root for the Knicks. This guy is just butthurt. It's okay, though. I've had bad days, too. I've had some bad days. Joel Santos, you're 100% right. New York Knicks fans are the best fans in the world. They're the largest fan base in the NBA. New York Knicks fans frickin' get it done. That's what we do. We're doers. The Broken Chip just made a frickin' Twitter to follow me. Just followed you back, bro. I'm your first follower. Let's frickin' go. All right, got some more follows. Josh Wright just gave you a follow. And that's it. Ah, shit. Rich, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me, Rich? Oh, you're my guy. You know that. I know you said you don't do Twitter, Rich, but you can also follow me on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. If you do that, I'll follow you back. I'd love to chop it up with you more about the Knicks. Hit me up, Rich. Rich, are you on IG? You're not on Twitter. I heard you say that. Last shot for my guy, Rich. Ivan, you're right. Once a Knick, always a Knick. That shit's in my blood. I could never change teams like Max Kellerman. Dude traded in his Knicks fan card to be a freaking fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a freaking coward. Rich, to everyone that's tuned in today, you guys are real. My Instagram is also Marshall Green _ just like the Twitter. Marshall, CP, and Richie. You're right. Honestly, those guys are awesome. Mark, bro, why are you so mad? Like, for real, though. Like, you know that you're talking to a wall because your comments aren't getting through. Imagine being so mad you're sending hate comments that you think get through, but they don't. Like, you're speaking to a wall, bro. And you don't even think Jalen Brunson's good. That's crazy. Yo, Rich, for real, though, hit me up on Instagram. I'll put my link to my IG in here. Honestly, I don't even know how to do that. I don't really promote my Instagram. But, Rich, did you hit me up? I got some followers on IG as well. Here. I got it. Here we go. Figuring this out. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram as well. Rich, I'd like for you to follow me so we can chop it up. You've been a real one all night. For real, for real. Hit me up, fam. We are bringing guys that always show up to win. We are bringing guys that want to be a superstar. Guys run from playing here. These guys are... Dog. You're right. How can we not support Jalen Brunson? He chose the New York Knicks. So many superstars have not chosen the Knicks. And now that we have one, we're not going to show him love? That's BS, bro. Oh, I got some more soups. Holy shnikes. Ian Clark, I appreciate you, dog. You're a real one. The Broken Chip, am following, sent a message. I followed you back on Twitter, Broken Chip. Rich, you're 100% right. He'll eat those words in 6 months. I don't even think he's a Knicks fan, to be honest. I don't really even know why he's doing this. Manny asks, why are you drinking so much? Because, look, it's a party. That's what we do here on New York Knicks Now. We party, we have fun, we talk about the latest Knicks news and rumors, and we freaking party. That's what we're doing right now. We're partying because the Knicks are back. That's why. Shout out to Amari Stoudemire when he said that in 2010, and it wasn't actually true. These sex bots are out of control. Out of freaking control, man. Brian, you're right. Mark needs a hug. Mark needs a hug. Mark needs a hug. Mark the Narc needs a hug. Mark the Narc needs a hug. Got some people hitting me up on IG. And then for real, I got to get the fuck up out of here. Rich. Damn, you've already hit me up on IG. I don't know why I haven't seen these messages, bro. I don't really know how to work IG like that. Looks like your messages went to like a private folder. I don't know what happened, but I just gave you a follow. Just sent you a message. Lock me in. Michael Bivens just gave you a follow as well. And then someone as well. Mama King Soul Food. Marsh, if you ever in Charlotte, come buy some. Hell yeah. If I'm ever in Charlotte, I'll hit you up. I love me some soul food. That's why I'm gaining so much weight. Got to get on the treadmill. Marky Mark's letting me know. For real, though, guys, today's been a lot of fun. I don't know why I didn't see your messages, Rich. I'm sorry for that, bro. I don't know why I never saw them. But we're locked in now. All right. Okie dokie, fellas. I think we're done here. We'll end it with this. The number on screen's not right, but I'm not going to change it. If you love the Knicks, you're looking for daily videos on YouTube, we're the channel for you. We just like to talk Knicks. We like to chop it up. Jeffrey says Mark needs to hook up with these sex bots. That might be chat of the night. I'll tell you that much. Mark, it's all love, bro. I just think you don't really know ball, but it's cool. To everybody out there and the real ones, I appreciate everyone that's made New York Knicks Now a part of their day today. Today would not have been possible like you guys. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later.